Welcome to America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Happy Thursday. Good to have you with us. Live look at Aqueduct Racetrack here in South Ozone Park, New York. 15 minutes away from race 5 for the start of the late pick 3. And we'll take you live out to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Richard Migliori, Megan Burgess, live on site with a big weekend coming up. We'll talk about the Essex Handicap. We have a couple of big Derby preps this weekend as well. Emerging Market back in action. Greg Wolf, New York Racing Association handicapper. Andy Serling, how you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to be in here where actually it's kind of like summer when it's 90 out and you get some air conditioning and it's like 70 in here. It's like 40 out and it's actually colder inside. So it's actually kind of nice. It's a good way to enjoy the winter.
So take that, Maggie. We brave the elements too indoors.
Exactly. Maggie's been in her office where it's also chilly, so she knows.
We're about 5 minutes away from the 4th at Oaklawn as well. We'll get you out there first. Let's see what's ahead. Presented by Claiborne Farm, Fast in New York, Fast at Oaklawn, and Turf Paradise races 3 and 4. They are fast and firm. As I mentioned, the late pick 3 here in New York coming up. Races 4 through 9 at Oaklawn. They feature the 8th, and Turf Paradise, that Grand Canyon jackpot pick 6 begins in race 3.
Does it have some relation to the Grand Canyon? Like if you hit it, you get to trip to the Grand Canyon? You been to the Grand Canyon?
I have never been, shockingly.
I went as a kid. My family took a trip across west. I love flying over it, right?
Yeah,
you must have done that a lot when you fly
many
to the
times.
west. That's always really cool.
You can play all the action by getting signed up right there. Use that code, MATCH200 for new customers. Get that $200 deposit match new customer bonus right there at NowRBets.com. Get involved and hopefully make a little money this afternoon. To Hot Springs we go. The first live action for us is going to be this 4th race, 2-turn mile, $10,000 claiming race. Obviously, every weekend's a big weekend at Oaklawn, but we have another good one coming up, and we're closing in on the Arkansas Derby as well. Let's check in with Megan. Megan.
Thank you, Greg, and a beautiful day here in Hot Springs. Spring has sprung, Megan, here. It's about 78 degrees, brilliant sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and we're going to start off in the 4th race here. $10,000 claimers. We got a post break coming up, Megan, and we're going to start with the 1 horse as we're going to make the turn into this post break. Will be Winter's Ghost, a horse that can lay up pretty close. Was claimed for $8,000 in his most recent effort.
With that inside draw, he'll be forward. I just wish he looked a bit better physically. A 7-year-old that just is lacking in muscle mass and condition.
8-time winner from the rail. The 3-horse, Mintastic, your favorite for Steve and Keith Asmussen.
The clear horse to beat if you go through his form lines. Allowance horses like Poker Night at V's will emerge. So he's, to me, the horse to beat.
And the 4-horse Hoodlum, which I would have been if it wasn't for horses, taking some money here.
His 2-back run where he was in chase mode was pretty decent as he's kind of a bigger individual, kind of a burlier sort.
The 5-horse, Cozy My Boy, 3-1.
A part of his speed as well early.
And the 7-horse shipping in from Delta Downs. This is where I landed, although maybe it's a little bit more off his form in the mud. But I thought Charbon had a look because he has some speed.
Yeah, Kyle DeVille just got his training career started this year.
The 8 is Patch O'Brien at a big price.
I thought this horse was interesting underneath at a big price, albeit 2-back. He just seems to me kind of a tactical type horse, and with the speed in here, he was interesting.
And on the far outside, the 9 Sivako with David Cohen, who was leading rider here a few years back.
Yeah, he will emerge. I believe Penny Fitch Hayes as well has his book there, along with Serafin Carmona, who we are wishing all the best as he continues his recoveries from that pretty nasty spill. But it's nice to see David here at Oaklawn Park.
Yeah, and his very first mount back, and will be, like you said, represented by Penny Fitch Hayes, who is doing a really good job for Serafin Carmona. But who do you like here? Who'd you like?
I went to the 5, Cozy My Boy, and I know that he's going to be a part of likely another contested pace, and he kind of just barely got the job done with Serafin Carmona aboard last time out. But I, all knowing that the 3 is the horse to beat and probably the likeliest winner of this race, he will likely end up beating me, but I just wanted to take a shot against him at 3-1 here with Cozy My Boy, and he's got some consistency. I also don't think that he absolutely has to have the lead, hoping maybe even a bit more tactically placed with Ramon Vasquez getting the call.
Yeah, I agree with you about the 3 Mintastic. He makes a lot of sense. Just at 6-5, I'm kind of going to go shopping a little bit, and that's why I wound up landing on number 7, Charbon. I just thought this horse was going to sit a good trip. I think there'll be 2 horses battling, and this horse should be the one to get the first run on the rest of the field. And it is a race run to the short wire, the 16th pole.
He's a bigger, more strapping individual as far as the distance is concerned. I have no issues with him doing so. But the only problem I had with him is just he has form on different tracks that come on wet sealed surfaces, and those are kind of his outlier figures. And he's also 0 for 7 here at Oaklawn Park. But at the same time, Mig, this race to me, if you're against the favorite, is wide open. But you kind of have to acknowledge that the favorite is the horse to beat. I mean, if you go back through his form lines, 2 back with 3 next out winners from that group. Some of them, as I mentioned, Poker Night at V's came back to be. We saw him put a strong performance against allowance foes last weekend. So if he runs back to any of those races there at Remington and Houston, he's going to be tough. But I always wonder if they're going to bring that same form here to Oaklawn. And he does have a win here. I just still have my questions at such a short price.
Yeah, dropping in class as well. One thing that's important, I think, for people at home to pay attention to, it's a very warm day. And we had a couple of very cold days leading up to this. I mean, Monday and Tuesday were in the 30s and it was actually chilly. You want to see a horse sweat today. I think it's such a negative if you don't see a horse. And I don't mean lathered up or profusely sweating, but you got to get a sweat on. It tells you that their internal coolant system is working properly.
What a whirlwind. We woke up Monday morning. I woke up and it was 43 degrees outside as the high. It was frigid. And then waking up now, it's kind of a completely situation. We're going to have a really hot weekend this coming weekend, and then we're supposed to get another cold front. So kind of up and down in terms of temperature, but it's going to be a warm one. Like I said, in these kind of lower level claiming groups, I like to get a little bit creative, albeit my creative is 3-1 up there on the tote board. But we'll see if Mintastic can come and beat us. I thought the number 8 was interesting, stacking underneath at 28-1, just for a little bit of value underneath.
And at a big price, well, the field is getting ready to load up as they got into the starting gate. And one thing we've always seen with weather here at Hot Springs, right? We can have big swings. It could be chilly in the morning, very warm in the afternoon. Next couple of days will be hot. Let's see if we get off this card on a hot streak. Matt Dinneman, he'll have your call.
Here's Sivako coming up. David Cohen aboard, begins his tenure this season here at Oaklawn today with this ride. We're ready to go. And Leroff, Winner's Ghost, slow to go. From the inside, sent for speed, got a tap on the shoulder. Will have to track the pace today. Cozy My Boy on the lead from Charbon, who's a neck behind. Winner's Ghost right behind them now in the third with Mintastic. Patch O'Brien deep as they corner into that turn. Hoodlum is second to last early. Sivako broke from the outside post, is on the rail now. Well out of it. 10 lengths behind. Approaching the backstretch run, the pacemaker. Charbon clearing off here. Cozy My Boy will take a hold. He's happy to track. Patch O'Brien just passed him in the 2-path, taking second. Now a half length off Charbon, who has the lead onto the backside. Cozy My Boy in the third position. Mintastic between horses. Hoodlum is 3 deep. 3 more back to Winner's Ghost, and another 5 to Sivako, who can still see them all. Remember, this race will end at the 16th pole. They're halfway home. Charbon, the leader, a half length. Patch O'Brien there, pressing on the outside. Then a line of 3. Mintastic, Hoodlum on the outside, and Cozy My Boy is down at the rail. 2 back to Winner's Ghost. He's going to try to rally from off the speed while 3 wide going into the turn. Sivako still well behind. Rounding the turn. Charbon, narrow lead. Patch O'Brien all in, sent hard. Here's Hoodlum, 3 wide, making a blitz towards the lead. Charbon and Hoodlum side by side. Hoodlum's got a nose in front. Charbon right there to the inside. Mintastic is peeling outside third. Is getting to the far outside for the stretch drive. They are off the turn. Mintastic gaining good ground on the grandstand side, and he's up to challenge the front runners now. Mintastic, Charbon not going away. He's game, but Mintastic's got the edge. Mintastic on the outside, coming home late to win it comfortably. It's Mintastic pulling clear by a length and a half. Charbon holds second, third home Hoodlum, and then Cozy My Boy, who was fourth.
And it was your favorite, number 3, Mintastic, under a very well-judged ride by Keith Asmussen. Charbon was actually game to hold on for second, but no doubt about the winner, Megan.
He was. That nice little price there, Mig, underneath your favorite, who rebounded and did bring some of that Delta Downs form over to Oaklawn, but Mintastic was just better than these, and it showed today.
Seemed very well placed by Steve Asmussen, the trainer. The guy doesn't win as many races as Steve Asmussen without knowing where his horses belong. Obviously a great horseman, but as good a manager as well.
Yeah, I mean, you see Steve on the biggest stages of the game, and you also see Steve very notorious in the claim box and knows how to move horses and put them where they belong, and that's exactly what he did with him.
Well, guys, it went to the big favorite in the opener on our show, race 4 at Oaklawn Park. It was Mintastic.
Yeah, nice call, though, on Charbonne. Meg underneath. Help that exact out a little bit as we get back to New York. Race 5 here, this $30,000 claiming race, 6 furlong sprint. As we look at the 6 here, Looms Boldly just claimed now with the Cantermachi barn.
I'm really fascinated to see how this race is run, because you've got 5 horses that want to be in front between 10 Cent Town, Play, Stewie, Ravens Ransom, and Looms Boldly. And, I mean, this is probably the most improbable win of Looms Boldly's career. First of all, he got completely left, and it allowed Stewie to open up an easy lead on him. Stewie should have been 1-9 to win this race, because Looms Boldly's a horse who in the past has not been particularly effective on wet tracks, especially when he can't get the lead. He's never been a horse that was comfortable sitting behind other horses. Yet he managed to blow the brake, right behind Stewie, had everything his own way, and he still ran him down. But is he really a horse you want closing? Now, maybe he can close as he gotten older. And is he really as fast as Ravens Ransom, the 5, Play, the 3, and 10 Cent Town, who's got to go from the rail? It's hard to know, but it's hard to believe that there isn't going to be some hitting in this race, isn't it?
Yeah, this is fascinating to see what this pace duel is going to look like with all the speed you mentioned. And here's part of that speed, 10 Cent Town. With a win last time out, I felt like even that race, and especially the race 3 starts back, makes him incredibly difficult to beat here.
If he didn't draw the rail, I would think he almost couldn't lose this race. He ran extremely well last time, and I don't think Play ran badly either in finishing 3rd, but he took the heat the entire way around the track. He was not benefiting from a bias of any kind, and he still managed to hold off, shoot the nickel at an absolutely perfect trip and really hung on the money. Yeah, he won a head bob, but he had every right to lose that race by maybe a half length to a length. Shoot the Nickel came back and won, the horse who's second on the outside, improving his Beyer figure 10 points. I'm a little skeptical of that race overall, but he did at least legitimize this effort. But once again, isn't 10 Cent Town going to be under the gun the whole race?
He is. He just went from 9-2 to 5-2 favorite, by the way. Here he is.
Which is what he should have been.
Yeah. 10 Cent Town, Jose Lezcano for Mike Maselli.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, I mean, I think he's the horse to beat on talent. I worry about the trip being difficult.
Scoot Daddy, a 7-time winner next door.
I picked him, and I'll probably bet a couple dollars because he's a decent enough price. He's the only closer in this race, the only true closer. I'm just not sure he's good enough, but I took a flyer.
Play had back-to-back wins at Finger Lakes late last year.
Well, I thought he could run a little bit better today, but still, I'm just not sure he's good enough, and no disrespect. It's tough. The rider change, Flavien Prat hurts.
Here's Stewie, got nailed by Looms Boldly, that race we showed you.
If he couldn't win last time, I wouldn't bet a nickel on him at 20-1 in this race.
Christopher Elliott will ride Ravens Ransom, second off a short layoff.
Yeah, I think this horse is ridiculous in my opinion. His races may look good out of time. They're not.
And then Looms Boldly, favoritism now shifted back outside.
Yeah, listen, if he can rate like he did last time with that outside post, he's probably going to win here. But I kind of want to see it again. He's never been a horse that really I've been comfortable betting unless I thought he could get the lead.
12 of his 25 career starts, so 7 wins, 5 runner-ups. So nearly half the time he's first or second. As you look at those prices from Oaklawn, which kicked off our program, even money favorite Mintastic with the victory.
That exacta paid $21.80 for $1. Mig, if you didn't have that exacta, I'm going to have to yell at you a little bit later today.
Yeah, Mig did
that
the
was
hard
a great
part.
call. I agree. I mean, Mintastic was a very obvious likely winner. I didn't like Charbonne at all. That was a good call by him for second.
3 on the board at 5-2, including favoritism now back to 10 Cent Town. Let's head downstairs, I should say, check in for the first time with Maggie Wolfendale.
We'll take a look here at number 5, Ravens Ransom. And I totally get what Andy's saying about this horse's out-of-town races. Look, he's an Illinois bred that has mostly, kind of beat up on Illinois bred horses throughout his career. And Linda picked him up out of that 40,000 claimer, which he did run well, albeit over a sloppy racetrack that day. Then he comes here and he encounters a gold rail track back on February 11th, also a little bit off of a layoff. I wasn't in the paddock for that race, but it was a world of better horses than what he faces here, including 24 Mamba, who finished third that day, came back and blew a field out of the water for Gus Rodriguez first off the claim. He was against the track, Ravens Ransom, and I don't know what the rider may have felt that day, but he hit the quarter pole and just said, I'm not really going to ride this horse out. He just backed up through the field and let him do so. Look, I'm not on his back. I don't know, but that's what I saw in the replay. Now, he does switch trainers here to Fernando Abreu, and I really like what I see. Now, this is, a field of horses that I know pretty well. He's the one that I don't. And against those horses that I know well, he looks best. He looks better. He looks stronger. He looks fitter. Great energy in the paddock. Has warmed up fine. So we'll see how he does. It's the dynamics that are concerning about him. And that's pushed me to a horse that also looks the part here, and one that I don't know quite as well, but number 2, Scoot Daddy. Now, he does have some interesting equipment, and like I said, I'm not as familiar with him recently. I have notes going back to last year on him, but he has consistently worn a cage bit, but now he wears a burr, so that rubber disc, just with the little kind of rubber nodules to make it a little bit more pressure, a little bit more severe if the rider pulls on that left inside rein to prevent them from going out. And you watch his races, and he does have a propensity to want to lean out. And I think it's kind of led to him not maybe, being able to set himself down and really finish off his races. But today, he very well could get the pace set up that he wants and needs. And he looks fantastic physically here. So at 7-1, I agree with Andy. At least on paper, Greg, it looks as though it could set up for number 2, Scoot Daddy.
Maggie's point is very well taken about the 5. He is facing a much softer field than last time. I agree. That is absolutely fair. My problem was I didn't like the horses he ran against out of town. I thought it made him look better than he was. And you're taking all the worst of it at 2-1, but I like Fernando. I hope for his sake I'm wrong.
And Fernando Abreu, trainer of Ravens Ransom. Pratt will ride, 2-1 favorite. It's gone from the 1 to the 5 to the 6. All have shared the role of favorite at some point here in the wagering.
This is a very interesting but tricky race.
Keep your eyes on this pace duel early. Yeah. Who will take command? As Andy mentioned, 5 of the 6 want to be forward early. Chris Griffin with the call.
Pop in the front of the gate open there was Stewie. Christopher Elliott still in the saddle. Stewie acting up. And now rider off. They have backed Stewie out of the gate. Stand by.
Well, we saw the head of Stewie peek through that starting gate. Now he's been backed out of the gate, getting looked over, but it looks like he'll reload. Christopher Elliott back aboard. And they're going to put this 5-year-old back in the gate.
Christopher's fearless.
And here we go. Once again, upstairs to Chris Griffin.
All set. Stewie lunge forward again. Pop the gate open. And they're off. Speed to the inside from 10 Cent Town. Doesn't want the front though, is going to sit back as here comes Play. Play is now on the front end, and Play with a neck advantage looms boldly right to the outside of stalking second at the rail. 10 Cent Town is in a tight spot here, is going to move forward, and now 10 Cent Town, Jose Lescano makes a decision to hug the rail and hold that position as less than 4 furlongs to go. 3 of them now battle up front. Right in behind them, Ravens Ransom is a well-settled 4th. Then comes Scoot Daddy. The trailer is Stewie. 22-4 for that opening quarter mile. 10 Cent Town with a nose advantage. Play in between horses, looms boldly to the outside 3 wide. Ravens Ransom has had a nice trip, is now tipped to the outside, 45-4. That half-mile time, and Play starts to kick away. Down the center of the racetrack, though, here comes Flavien Prat on Ravens Ransom. Ravens Ransom trying to pick up the leader. 10 Cent Town hasn't gone away. Scoot Daddy needs some room in 4th. A 16th left to go. Play is holding him off. Scoot Daddy lunging down towards the inside. Play, Scoot Daddy, Play holds on. Scoot Daddy there second, then came 10 Cent Town and Ravens Ransom. 1 minute 10 and 4.
Play with the win, career win number 6 and 14. Starts for the Cantor Machi Barn, second off the claim.
Well, this was a very good ride by Kokakaya, and, you know, I've been tough on him at times, but somehow this horse was able to clear early. It wasn't a super fast pace here. I think Jose Lezcano kind of regretted that he didn't move with him early, and he moved up midway into, or part of the way into the race. But by then, the 3 had gotten a little comfortable up front and was able to get it done in this race. I think the Scoot Daddy probably wins with a stronger rider, but you know you're not getting one of the best riders in the colony here. And Scoot Daddy never really got to get in that comfortable outside closing position, saving a lot of ground, getting the close second. Ravens Ransom just not good enough. He couldn't have gotten a better trip.
Play at 6-1 in this $30,000 claiming race here. 3-2-1-5 finish. And even with all that, with the 2, still looked like he had a chance late here to try and get up and win this race. Just runs out of steam.
Little tough to close inside of horses, too, like that for the most part. But he did get a reasonably good setup. I mean, I don't think the pace was blistering fast, but it was pretty quick. The Play was a deserving winner.
Cantor Machi Barn wins second off the claim with a 6-year-old. We're going to have prices when we come back. We will talk Kentucky Derby Trail. Who's the horse you want out of those 50-point preps? We will ask our analysts when we come back. With you on our Fox Sports 2 coverage. Watching America's Day at the Races, it's brought to you by America's Best Racing, making the sport easier to follow, explore stories, betting tips, and race day insights at americasbestracing.net. Play aggressive under Gokhan Kochkaya for Ilke Kantermachi, and now 6 wins from 14 starts.
A very good ride by Kochkaya. He was the most aggressive out of the gate, and that's what happens. In a race with a lot of speed, the most aggressive rider ends up getting rewarded. Give him some credit. I just saw Ilke on the way upstairs, and he gets a winner. Should have thought of that.
Usually pays dividends for some reason. Plenty left in the tank here in the stretch to hold off this late charge from the 2, Scoot Daddy, under Jose Baez. And $15.72 for the upset score here at 6-1. 5-2-1 finish. Trifecta for 50 cents, 47 and change.
Yeah, exact. I'm not as upset that I didn't have the exacta at just under $36 for a buck.
Pick 5 would have been nice. $8,650.
I could not have used the 4th winner. I would have, if I had played, I would have had 4 or 5, but I would not have had the 4th winner.
Yeah,
that was
Daytona
the worst. It made it pay a
Moonshine.
lot, right?
Very difficult one to have back in race 4. Move on to race 6. 1 turn mile, 50,000 starter allowance coming up. Obviously, a couple of key scratches here. Morlock was 9-2 morning line. With that, whiskey and soda currently 2-1.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who's betting Fort Nelson here. They probably don't realize his last race is a totally phonied up 4-horse field win. Good luck to him getting a mile. I thought it was all 3s and 4s here. How about you?
3 has a couple of just devastating races, yeah.
I thought he was the horse to beat. He
Yeah.
was looking for back-to-back winners.
We'll talk more about that one. That would be Kantermachi again with Manny Franco.
Big favorite in doubles.
We're closing in on the Kentucky Derby. The 100-point races are right around the corner. So we've concluded all those 50-point races. Wow, May 2nd? First Saturday in May?
That's when it is.
You have your outfit picked out, right?
Yes, I'm wearing a diaper.
We're all about fashion for the Derby here on this program.
Yeah, we're all about fashion in general around here.
We know the winners of those 50-point races, and some of them obviously major contenders. What about the horses who did not win those races? Who impressed you the most out of those 50-point races?
I think the answer is fairly Moto. The horse is the co-favorite, and I think an underlay in the last Derby pool. They're all underlays. Chief Wallaby, I mean, I would imagine he's high on a lot of people's lists. I mean, the problem with Chief Wallaby is he'll be making his 4th start should he be in the Kentucky Derby. And I know people like to say, oh, Justify won it in his 4th start. Yeah, I know. There was one Justify, and there were about 150 other horses like Curlin, who was a true great, who failed making their 4th start. Experience will count, as Bill Mott's looking for back-to-back wins in the Derby. But if you're not impressed by Chief Wallaby, I just don't think you're really paying attention. So I would say a horse that lost the 50-point race, he's the best one.
7 furlong win in his debut. Then, start number 2 at 1:16, 100 Beyer speed figure, just losing to Commandment. But as you mentioned, he will be giving up a lot of experience. Let's go to Maggie. Maggie, your thoughts on who impressed you the most, who was a non-winner of a 50-point race?
Well, Greg, age before beauty when selecting these horses, I would too have selected Chief Wallaby. But I'm going to kind of go maybe in a little bit of a different tangent with a horse that I think people will be lured into that I'm not totally sold on, and that is Butane. Now, people are going to see that he had trouble. Look, he broke from that 1 hole. He wasn't the sharpest out of there, so it put him a little bit behind the 8 ball. Then he rushes up, and he kind of gets stuck behind several horses, riders' feet in the dashboard, and then he hits the top of the lane where the winner as well, Incredible, didn't have anywhere to go, but he's going to beat Butane to that spot. Butane's going to try to come out here. Then the horse on the outside, the gray horse, is going to keep him hemmed in. The 9 horse is going to come out, so he's going to have to dive back down to the inside, and eventually he's going to have to settle for 4th here, but he's going to kind of come with this big gallop out that a lot of people love. So he's one that was the favorite, that is trained by Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, that I still believe, Greg, is a better sprinter.
Admittedly, I'm old, Maggie, but did you just refer to yourself as a beauty? I mean, not that we don't agree, but normally, we'd be a little bit less, but I'm old. She did get that right.
Well, she's actually won a beauty pageant. So I guess if you won a beauty pageant, you can actually refer to yourself as a beauty.
You are Miss Preakness, Maggie. That's correct.
Nobody can ever take that away from me, Andy. So
and
that's
I'll never
why
let
I
them.
had the privilege of saying that. Thank you, Greg, for sticking up for me.
Yes, I will always remind people that you are Miss Preakness, whether you like it or not.
I know you're not particularly high on butane. You think distance is going to be the big challenge for him?
Well, it's actually, it's hard if you want to put Maggie back in here. I mean, I agree with her that he didn't have the best of trips. I just wondered when he ever really had any run. I agree with what she's saying. Obviously, if you liked him in there, you could want to take a better I'll give him another chance. Well, you'll get that chance because apparently he's coming to the Wood Memorial, assuming he works well. So we'll see him in the Wood. And Maggie, I'm going to hold it to you. You are going to be picking butane in the Wood. I don't care what you say.
No, I won't be. You guys, I did say, I was talking about the antithesis of this statement that people might like him, but I don't.
I also stole Chief Wallaby from her, so I will give her a break.
That's the horse that
right.
Everybody seems to be on, but again, very light on experience. Let's go to Hot Springs. We pose that same question to Megan.
Well, Megan, I know you feel very strongly about the local horse. I guess we can call him the local horse in Silent Tactic.
Well, he's a horse that's been campaigned in every leg of this Triple Crown series here, or Derby Prep series, you could say, excuse me. Not Triple Crown. But Silent Tactic is just, to me, the horse has just been continually progressing and improving as a Derby candidate, as he hasn't gotten the hottest of bases to close into in both the Smarty Jones and running second in a game performance in the Rebel. He also put in his final drill before next weekend's Arkansas Derby just this morning. I got to catch up with his connections, who just wanted him to go pretty easy. They kind of cranked him up a little bit before the Rebel, and I find coming out of that race, it's more of a maintenance mode for him now. But I've been really impressed by him as an individual. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I thought he looked fantastic and just continues to grow.
Well, and you can understand it, more of a maintenance kind of move, because here's a horse that has been running consistently. Years ago, horses would have at least 3 or 4 Derby preps. Not the case anymore. So he doesn't probably need a lot of hard work at this point. He has the foundation. I'm in agreement with Andy about Chief Wallaby. I just thought in his second start to do what he did, Bill Mott's not a conditioner that rushes horses into those positions. He allows a horse to take him to those positions. Kind of interesting. Commandment, I thought, kind of pulled up a little when he hit the front in that race. But Irad Ortiz Jr. not riding Commandment back, going to ride Renegade here in the Arkansas Derby. Irad also not riding today or tomorrow, but supposed to be back on Saturday, guys. So it'll be good to see Irad back riding and pointing towards the Triple Crown.
It's interesting Richie brought up how Irad is riding Renegade instead of Commandment. I feel like there's a story there. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's a story there. But maybe Irad's just more about riding for Todd and Mike Rapoli, who he has ridden a lot more for. He's been, I think one of his moves to Kentucky was to get more into the Brad Cox barn, which is a very wise choice on he and Steve Rushing's choice. But now they're making a move like that instead of riding a horse who's probably a shorter price in Commandment, or a shorter price heading to Derby at this point. Not that Renegade's bad. I'm not saying he necessarily made the wrong choice. It was just a somewhat surprising choice.
So that list, Paladin, Incredible up top. It's going to change a lot, though, with these 100-point preps, and we'll hopefully learn a lot more going into that first Saturday in May. We should.
I feel like while there aren't any horses out there that are running towering figs, I think it's a very fun Derby trail right now, because I think there's a lot of room for a lot of horses to say they're contenders for the Derby, which makes it a more fun race and potentially a much more fun season of 3-year-old racing.
Yeah, at this point today, we could see, like a 4-1 favorite, if not higher?
Oh, easily. That's why we were laughing about Bill taking 5 or 6 to 1 on anybody in the pool, because the favorite's probably going to be around 4 to 1.
We're taking time out. We will be back. More from Oaklawn coming up, 3 minutes away from race 5 when we get back to action. Troubler, Norm Cassie barn. Right now, the one to beat.
$1,650,000 anybody else want $650,000 bid today, $1,650,000 and a half. $1,600,000, thank you.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Hot Springs is here for when you need to break away, when you want to reward yourself, when you deserve to indulge, when you want to be close to the action. It's all here. So what are you waiting for? Live racing returns with the classic racing season. So plan your stay at Oaklawn Hot Springs and come join the fun.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races. Only a few minutes out from race 5 here. We got fillies and mares, claiming tag 12,500, and a very competitive field as usual, Megan.
This is, and I'm against both of the horses that are going to be some of the shorter prices here. I don't think we're going to see as decisive a winner, and easy, I guess you could say, a winner as Mintastic was in the last race.
No, and that horse just made a lot of sense, got it done. Let's start down on the inside with the 2 Synoptic breaking from post 1. I'm kind of surprised this horse is 10-1 here. Eric Asmussen's riding so well. And this horse is tactical enough to be forward. I thought ran well last time for twice the price.
This is who I'm going with. And the board has been all over the place with this horse. He was all the way down near 5-2 and now floated back up to 10-1. So I don't know if there was an error there, but you're getting a price which I kind of thought would be the case. And that 2-back effort, yes, look, it was at Houston. It was a 20-length winner, freewheeling it on the front end. And then reality came in last out here at Oaklawn Park when he was in against much tougher. He looked best. He gets the drop down in class. I agree with you as far as his tactical speed. I don't think he needs to freewheel it on the front end as he did in his 2-back performance. And I liked him. To me, I thought I just did not have an appetite for your far outside horses taking some money. And I do, though, agree with you if you want to make that case for Troubler, who's put back-to-back pretty strong efforts together. I just don't love the read of the last race that she ran.
Well, really no excuses last time. She was in a good position, and has disappointed a few times at very short prices. I'm right along with you with the 2 Synoptic. I thought this horse would be 5 or 6-1, 10-1 for this 3-year-old filly. Also getting a little bit of a break in weights when 3-year-olds compete against elders this time of year. I know you had a little bit of interest in the 5 Vino Rani.
Yeah, I had a couple of price horses. I like the 5 and 9 in here underneath. The 5 Vino Rani I thought was worth playing in the exotics. Just going back and looking through the form, just in against way too tough and gets an easier spot to lie.
Yeah, it doesn't always get out of the gate the cleanest. And then the 9 horse was another horse that you thought at a price could be interesting. Evocation.
Yeah, running for the waiver. And if you go back through this horse's form lines, has been bet down to some pretty short prices. I think underneath you're getting now 8-1. Maybe finally this is the wedding for this horse. We shall see. Likes to run second here at Oaklawn 4 times out of the 6 tries. We'll see if she can actually get it done today.
Okay, they are backing the horses out. Just heard Matt Dinnerman say there's going to be a slight delay. So we'll try to find out exactly what's going on, guys. I don't see anybody prone in the gate from my vantage point, but it looks like they're backing everybody out of the gate, and we'll have a take 2 here in about a moment.
All right, so holding pattern while they back everyone out at Oaklawn, and in the meantime, we'll bring you here to New York.
I hope the wait isn't as long as it was for the MiG on the tarmac in LaGuardia there tonight.
6 hours on the plane on the tarmac.
He took it about as well as I would.
Looks like the 1 Swift Kelsey has been scratched.
Oh, boy. All the Taylor Swift fans.
All the Swifties.
How much money do you think the Taylor Swift fans accounted for in the win pool? Now, the other question is, apparently, unlike New York, the 1A doesn't run for purse money only, a rule that I actually strongly believe in, even if it ends up biting you in the butt. But I don't think you should get stuck with the 1A if you're betting the 1, right? It's an imperfect rule in an imperfect situation.
I hate the fact that a horse can be in the race that you can't bet on that can impact you winning a race. What if he interferes with you?
I'll be honest with you, as people have noticed since we've gotten back from Saratoga, we don't have entries anymore. And it's been a really good thing.
Yeah.
It really is. And entries are pretty much a thing of the past. You don't see them too often at Oaklawn, but we have one here.
Back in New York, Carvelian Quest, as we mentioned, well, it's not the favorite right now. Slight second choice, but here he is in action.
He'll be the favorite by post time and be a pretty strong one. I thought he ran really well last time. He was involved. Linda came with him with a horse that's going to be tough to beat, I think, on Saturday's card in the stretch. But, the race ended up falling apart late, and he did all the hard running. I thought he was a big part of the pace. And with the 1 scratching, I think it makes his job easier. But I'm not sure that the 6 can't have something to say about that as well. We'll see how aggressive other riders are. I think people are crazy betting Fort Nelson. His last win was in a 4-horse field against much weaker horses actually, Playa del Mar actually would fit well in this race. But it was just a huge, huge, huge speed track that day. I mean, there was one race where a horse closed it all that day. Otherwise, nobody made up ground at all. And
he went gate to wire.
I just don't like that horse.
Let's go down to Maggie.
Well, he's in a 4-horse field again. And number 6 in here, Fort Nelson. What do you do with him? You're not going to find a better bred horse here on the card today, or probably the entire week, or one that looks better than Fort Nelson. But I'm of the mind that Fort Nelson's, as people like to say on the backside, a little bit of a cheat in that if he doesn't have things his way, he's not going to put forth his best effort. And I do think, as Andy said, he was with the track last time. And furthermore, he is a horse that I think needs the lead to do his best running. A+ here for physicality, but he might get an F when it comes to being true, as we'll get it back out to Mig and Meg there at Oaklawn.
Yeah, thank you, Maggie. The horses are loading back up. We're almost all set for the start after the late scratch of the 1, Swift Kelsey. And we should be on our way momentarily. Matt Dinnerman, he'll have the call of race 5 from Oaklawn Park.
2 back, My Spittin' Image and Timeless Love. Here's My Spittin' Image, Timeless Love to the outside post. We kick off the late pick 5 here at Oaklawn today. Timeless Love working with this one to go in the yellow cap. Ramon Vasquez with the call, 2-1 for Troubler number 3. We're ready to go. And Lariff, an eventful beginning. Army Nurse is sent for speed. Illy Symes prominent. These two hook up here. Miss Ida B right behind in third. Synoptic gets closer, level third. Troubler there in that line as well. A length and a half to My Spittin' Image. Then comes Timeless Love off the speed today. My Spittin' Image has now been passed here by Sassy Lass, who's down on the rail. Cold as Ice is second to last in a space of 2 to Evocation, who's at the back as they go into the far turn here. Troubler tried to get through between horses, has to steady a little bit into that turn. Synoptic has made a blitz to the lead on the inside, takes a short edge here. Army Nurse second, Miss Ida B 3 wide. Troubler coming on, looking for a spot to go right now in fourth, has some horse here. 2 lengths clear of Vino Rani coming to the quarter pole. Sassy Lass is going in the wrong direction. The others need to pick it up as they come off the turn here. Off this turn, it's Synoptic with the lead. Troubler gets a dream split between horses, does Troubler. Synoptic is trying to kick on here. Troubler alongside. Troubler with a head in front. Synoptic back to second on the inside with a 16th to go. It's Troubler pulling clear late. Christian Torres, 4 rides today, producing 4 wins. Big day for him. Synoptic second. Third home was Vino Rani. And then came Army Nurse.
And in race 5, it was the favorite, number 3, Troubler, the 4-year-old daughter of Instagrand, overcame some trouble. Troubler did to run down the horse that you and I both landed on, the 2 Synoptic, who held on gamely for second.
Yeah, she did. And you could tell she was a touch keen there because she kind of seemed like maybe the type that had maybe the propensity to run off. But she did well. And Christian Torres having a day, as you mentioned, as you heard in Mark Ditterman's call, 4 mounts and 4 victories today.
4 for 4. Hot as the weather here, guys, as we head back to New York and a post parade there.
Yeah, Torres took the first 3 on the card. Now another victory with the favorite. And as we take a look here at the 6, Fort Nelson in that dressed up victory last time out.
Yeah, I thought Maggie sort of hit the nail on the head. He's just a little bit of a tough horse to trust in this spot. It just seems like even under ideal circumstances, he didn't run a race that's necessarily going to win the race here. Listen, I picked the favorite. I don't have anything clever to say about this race. I had the one horse I was looking forward to most betting on the card was the 2, Too Honest Mischief, who's not going to play, and I'm left with the 3. I think Whiskey and Soda, the 4, is not impossible in here. It's not a great overall change leaving Michelle Nevin's barn, but I thought the horse ran okay last time, but was only sort of picking up pieces as the race collapsed.
Let's go back to Maggie.
Yeah, we'll take a look there at number 4, Whiskey and Soda, as he's one that always carries his weight well. He loves his feed tub, I would assume, as he looks much the same. But what I really like today is really good forward, happy energy, and really warmed up beautifully out on the racetrack. Now, his biggest hurdle in his racing career is usually the gate. He tends to act up there. He tends to not leave there very well because he's generally acting up in there. So maybe with the shorter field that he has to deal with, it'll take less time, obviously, for the load, giving him less opportunity to act up. Maybe he can actually leave with the rest of the horses, effectively. And who knows? As I said, with number 6, Fort Nelson, maybe they recognize that he's a horse that can't necessarily win without the lead, and they are somewhat aggressive with him. But at the end of the day, Greg, he's just clicked back over to second choice. I couldn't necessarily see past number 2 in here, Carvelian Quest. He's looked good every step of the way through these prelims.
9 to 5 second choice.
I think the betting is crazy in this race. I think it's crazy that the 6 is favored in here. Maybe I'll be completely wrong, and it's not the first time, won't be the last time. But I don't like that horse at all in this race. I don't think he's the absolute speed, and I don't think he's good enough even if he is.
Public seeing it differently. That certainly was a huge sort of almost outlier performance last start.
I hope for my friend Ronnie Valente I'm wrong, but I don't get this horse at all.
Prices from Oaklawn, there they are. Troubler, $6.20 for the win. Christian Torres, number 4 on the day. It's 4 for 4 this afternoon.
Yeah, we were just looking at his other mounts. He's on a couple of long shots, but he's got two of his remaining 4 mounts today seem very, very live. He could have a 5-win day today. It helps to have a start winning the first 5 races, but
he's got Accelerize as well in the Essex. Well, he'll go up against Skippy Longstocking.
I assume he'll scratch out of because Todd's got 2 in the New Orleans handicap, so I assume he'll scratch there to run at Oaklawn on Saturday in the Essex.
Here we go, race 6 from Aqueduct. It is this one right here. Fort Nelson, your favorite at 6 to 5 for Linda Rice, Kendrick Carmouche, Chris Griffin the call.
All set. And they're off. Carvelian Quest right out towards the front and quickly, now up by a half length. Here to the outside is joined by Fort Nelson, a stalking second up on the far outside, and in behind them, Cocktails and Kringle, the trailer, Whiskey and Soda. Challenging for the lead, it's Fort Nelson to the outside of Carvelian Quest. They're well apart as they hook up with the backstretch, and both seem to be content right where they're sitting. Carvelian Quest with a neck advantage, Fort Nelson right there. 23.59, that opening quarter mile. Here comes Cocktails and Kringle. Jamie Rodriguez alone in third, now patiently ridden, watching what the top duo does. The trailer, Whiskey and Soda. Carvelian Quest, hugging the rail, out wider there, Fort Nelson. Center of the racetrack, 46.16 for the half-mile time. Carvelian Quest is up by 3/4 of a length. Fort Nelson's asked to do more here from Kendrick Carmouche right there in second. Down at the rail, Cocktails and Kringle starts to make a move. Whiskey and Soda trying to launch a rally from far out of it. Carvelian Quest is still in front, and Carvelian Quest. Manny Franco, a quarter mile left to go. Fort Nelson continues to battle on, and Cocktails and Kringle doesn't want the rail, switches to the outside. Whiskey and Soda down the center of the racetrack. Carvelian Quest still there. Here comes Fort Nelson to the outside, but another pair on the grandstand side. It's Cocktails and Kringle, Whiskey and Soda. Fort Nelson has now taken the advantage. Fort Nelson's in front. Whiskey and Soda lunges. Fort Nelson won it. Whiskey and Soda second, then came Cocktails and Kringle and Carvelian Quest in 1 minute 37.34 seconds.
Fort Nelson goes off 7-5 favorite and rolls by Carvelian Quest for the win.
As a bettor, you're never unhappy when you don't bet a race and a horse you didn't like at all wins. And he was best. He didn't make the lead. He forced Carvelian Quest into a pace that turned out to be too hot for him to handle as he folded to last in a straight. She put him away. It felt like both the 4 and 5 were coming, like they might swallow him up, and he held his margin well. Congrats to Linda and Roddy Valente and Kendrick getting the win here. I didn't see it. The public got it right, though.
Linda Rice, Roddy Valente owns, Kendrick Carmouche aboard, 3 wins, 10 career starts for this 4-year-old son of Bernardini. And yeah, public making this one the favorite
smart.
despite that dressed up effort last out. And rewards backers with a win here. Fort Nelson with a win, 6-4, 5-3 finish. Prices when we come back. Back on our Fox Sports 2 coverage. One of top 5 most famous bridges in the world. Top 3.
I would say. It's the first bridge it's the first bridge to be built in New York. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Golden Gate,
Civil War
Brooklyn Bridge.
Apparently.
What's the third you'd put in there?
What were the other ones you said?
It's most
Golden
famous.
Gate. Well, in America, I mean, it's a little unfair because there are some very well-known bridges around the world that we're not be as familiar with. I don't want to just be say it's just America, but Golden Gate, obviously a big one. Brooklyn Bridge.
Fort Nelson with the win, 7-5 favorite here in the 6th at Aqueduct. Linda Rice claimed this one off of Bill Mott for $50,000 back in January.
No, this horse ran very well today. Really a hard-fought win and really earned the win. Not getting the lead, fighting the 3, forcing the base, and holding off for the win. A nice win by this horse, 7-5. And got to wait, apparently not just for the 4 jockeys here to weigh out, but apparently riders somewhere around the world to weigh out to make this one official. On a bridge somewhere.
Yes.
I like the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. You ever been on that?
No.
It's like an 18-mile over the Chesapeake Bay when you go down to Norfolk. It's got the 2 tunnels. Instead of having a drawbridge, you go under so the boats can go over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A lot of dead shows.
One day.
A lot of trips in the dead tour over the
Everything
Chesapeake
revolves
Bridge
around a Grateful Dead show for Andy.
It was $11 back in the early 80s to take that bridge. It's probably like $300 now to go across it. Yes.
Waiting on prices. There they are. $4.92.
You asked.
6-4-5 finish. Pick 3. Wow. 500 and change. Ford Nelson goes back to back.
I couldn't add this. I could add 1.
This is the final race on the card here in New York. We have plenty more coming up from Oaklawn, though, so don't change that channel. 5.5 furlong sprint. Rare sprint distance we see here in New York and this circuit here this time of year. 20 maiden claiming event, and So True. Funny how it seems. Always in time.
Yeah, I'm more interested in first-time stars. It appears, looking at multi-race bets, that the Ray Handel first-time star on the outside, Covert Affair, will be favored. But sometimes, first-time stars can get bet more in the multis and be a little chillier in the win price. But that horse is now the 2-1 co-favorite.
Yeah, Rail is going to take 7-1.
I thought the Rail was the most likely of the horses that had run.
Speed and backed up first time out. Yeah, that's a major player. Big price right now. That price should come down. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. Plenty more coming up on this Thursday edition. Brad Cox, Derby winner, months after the fact. He's got some major contenders for 26. Stay with us.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Gunrunner is the sire of 16 millionaires and 12 Grade 1 winners. Last year, he sired $17 million yearlings, including the Keeneland September sale topper. He was the sire of the $2.2 million Keeneland November weanling sale topper as well. Gunrunner was the co-leading sire of 2-year-old Grade 1 winners, including Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Super Corridoro. Gunrunner, breed true.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you.
Commandment with a big opening toward the rail. The Red Sea parts for Commandment, and he's charging after Chief Wallaby to the first finish line. Commandment on the inside, Chief Wallaby to the outside. Commandment with the momentum. Chief Wallaby makes him earn it. Commandment, Chief Wallaby. Commandment wins the Fountain of Youth.
Not much separating these top 2 finishers in the Fountain of Youth for Commandment. 4th career start, Chief Wallaby. We talked about earlier in the program, just start number 2, first time stretching out. 2 very exciting prospects, and Brad Cox with another big-time contender for the Derby.
And Brad, of course, who has that Derby win via the post-race disqualification, getting it with Mandaloun. I personally, I think Commandment should be the favorite right now for the Derby. Now, I don't know what being the favorite means. I think you'll agree with me that 8 to 10 to 1 is probably the right price on a favorite at the very least. But I was very impressed by the performance of both of these horses in the Fountain of Youth.
Looks like the strongest prep, that we've seen to this point. And we'll see what comes next. Things change quickly. But you look at the rest of those contenders from Brad Cox. Further ado,
I was disappointed. He ran okay. I mean, not to be fair, he ran fine coming off the layoff. But I'm waiting to see that big performance. I think Brad is banking on. If you're Brad, you're thinking, well, he ran that crazy big figure at Keeneland, and you knew when he broke his maiden at Keeneland, if he was still on the Derby trail, that they'd be going to the Bluegrass, and who could blame them with the race he ran there? You want to see, did he really love Keeneland, or did just something weird happen that day?
Yeah, unfortunately, even if he does run big there in the Bluegrass,
Paladin's not bad.
Derby is not at Keeneland, but not to say he can't have a big change in things as well. Turfway Park. With a big race coming up as we get in some of these big point races. Do you want me to say it or you say it?
The Jeff Ruby Stakes? What?
Derby winner can come out of this race.
Right. I don't think there's an Animal Kingdom in here, but then again, we didn't know that Animal Kingdom was Animal Kingdom when he ran in there. I did a quick glance of this race, and I didn't see the Derby winner. How about you?
No. Full effort for Brad Cox. We'll be getting on dirt for the... well, if he makes it there for the first time, but just missed in the Battaglia Memorial on synthetic after running second beat a length in a prep before that.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I find these races just completely inscrutable. I understand, with Brad, but this horse is a deep closer. Now, Brad won it last year, right, with a deep closer, that Juddmonte turf horse that ended up running in the Saratoga Derby, I think. Whose name escapes me. He's got Irad, assuming Irad's back riding. I don't know. Do you really want to take a deep closer at a short price in this race? I don't, but he could win.
Comes from very far out of it. Will get more ground than he's ever had. Again, just missed in the Battaglia Memorial. Finished ahead of Maximus Prime, who does have some dirt races early in his career, but he really seemed to blossom on synthetic.
I agree. I thought Chaos Agent, the second time starter with Joel's a little interesting, breaking the maiden for Josie Carroll. What about Black Hornet trying synthetic? Bratata was that was a Peter Brandt turf horse. I think Bratata is one of the paintings by Lichtenstein. I think that's where the name comes from. And of course, an essential quality. Maybe that horse would be interesting. They're sort of fun races. I don't know whether or not it's going to have any say in the Derby.
Stark contrast in this race coming from the West Coast for Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Like to see Michael McCarthy do well, and why not? He's had success. This one is really a turf pedigree, a Caravaggio, but a Caravaggio that's effective going longer.
Emerging market. What will we get in start number 2? Grade 2 Louisiana Derby this Saturday, mile and 3/16, $1 million purse.
I will guarantee you that one thing you won't get is the 6-1 morning line. He will either be favored or the co-favored along with the number 3 Chip Honcho. And, I mean, you look at the race, they are clearly the two horses to beat, right? I mean, you don't know, is Emerging Market going to run back to his maiden race? If he builds on it, he'll win the race. Even if he runs back to it, he'll probably win. But Chip Honcho's okay, and he does appear to be the controlling speed, but why can't Emerging Market just sit second? You know, he gets a good outside draw. You got the whole stretch till the first turn. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Brad Cox with a player in here as well. He has Autobahn. Comes off a maiden win at Gulfstream. It was at a mile and an 1/8. 76 buyer, though, in the win, so needs improvement. But, look, we saw that big improvement with Commandment. Starts 3 and 4.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible. I don't know. I mean, he's going to have to take a real step forward. You know, coming off a maiden win. I mean, he got a 76 buyer breaking his maiden in his third start. I know it was going a mile and an 1/8, but Emerging Market ran a 97 buyer. I mean, he's coming out of, from a speed figure standpoint, the slowest race of anybody. Probably the same morning line as Emerging Market in here.
He's 8-1 morning line.
Anyway, by the way, I heard from Brad, and he said that Irad was already committed to ride Renegade before he rode Commandment in the Fountain.
Okay.
So that helps explain it.
So here's a look at the 100-point preps. Wood Memorial here in New York, April 4th. And again, top 2 finishers from each of these preps should have plenty of points to get into that starting gate for the Derby.
Right, but I mean, you know, we talk about the points, and it's a point of discussion to show where the horses are, but we all know that these 100-point races are going to completely and totally change the landscape in some ways, you know, because horses that run second are going to get 50 points. You know, I think 50 points is pretty much a guarantee to get in, but it's not the same as it was at one point. You know, I think they've changed the points a little bit, but 50 will probably get you in.
See, big weekend. See what happens in that Louisiana Derby. A lot of excitement with Emerging Market. Can he back up that huge debut? Can he improve off that big debut?
And even if he wins, for people that took, I think, 28-1 on him in the future pool, I don't think he's a favorite to go to the Kentucky Derby, even if he wins this race. I don't think that either Chad Brown or Seth Klarman are eager to make a run a third-time starter in a race like the Derby. No, so I don't think I would. I think the Emerging Market is more likely to win the Louisiana Derby than he is to run in the Kentucky Derby.
So saying he wins impressively, they would pass on that opportunity.
I mean, I suppose if he ran some sort of giant number, but even then, I will be. I don't think he is super. I think he is more likely to be in the Belmont Stakes than he is in the Kentucky Derby. I'll tell you that.
Nice segue, because this is right around the corner. Third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Last chance to see it ever at Saratoga.
That's right.
Tickets on sale now for Belmont Week at Saratoga. Go to belmontstakes.com/tickets. The first 2 years of Belmont at Saratoga, it's exceeded all our expectations.
No, it's a great week of racing. I mean, listen, we are extremely excited to have Belmont reopening on September 18th. We are very much hoping to see Sovereignty in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, which has been moved to that opening day, which will be very exciting.
Less than a month away from his return, by the way.
Yeah, he's going to be running at Oaklawn and going forward, and we're looking forward to seeing him getting back. And I think I'm not ready to, and I know you kind of agree. I mean, obviously he's the favorite of the 3-year-olds coming back this year, but I want to see Journalism, and Baeza. I want to see Magnitude. I think we could have a really good year as we did last year with the older horses. You a little skeptical?
I've loved Sovereignty all along. I don't know if you know this. I picked the trifecta cold in the Kentucky Derby. I've loved him all along. I picked him every step of the way.
I'm not saying he's not.
Things can change. Absolutely, things can change.
I think also you could, if you look at the trajectory of them, Journalism started to tail off a little bit, and Sovereignty was getting better. I want to see what happens when they start meeting on a level playing field. And Journalism's supposed to run the Met Mile. That's what they've been saying they're pointing to.
Wow.
So
that'll be exciting. Yeah. Back to live action, 3 minutes away. Thought you'd like that. I had to get that
hurry
line
back
in.
to Oaklawn.
6th race coming up in Hot Springs. Megan, what do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, another big competitive field, 12-5 claimers, and we got a post parade. I think we're going to do a post parade here, aren't we, guys? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so the 1 horse is Scratch. The 2 horse Classic Cut dropping in class. We've seen Steve Asmussen already be successful with a class dropper here today, Megan.
Yeah, sort of was taking more money before, but this horse is a bit vulnerable, never having won at Oaklawn and hasn't won since November of 2024.
Yeah, the 3 horse Martini Blue. Who do you got? Christian Torres.
Exactly. The Midas touch today with a strong claiming barn. I thought on paper he was a vulnerable favorite, but does look good out there on the track.
Big price on the 4, JJ's Joker, first time off the claim for Ray Ashford.
And Ray Ashford does incredible work off of the claim. First off the claim, past 5 years at Oaklawn Park. It's a small sample, but he's 2 for 5, 40%.
The 5 is Laws of Man.
First Oaklawn Park starter for the barn.
Horse that works very fast at Turf Paradise, the 6, Wild Eye, with Eric Asmussen being reunited.
Has speed and can rate. If you take out his last performance, he's a win candidate up there at a really big price.
The 7 is Fifth Avenue, your favorite.
He's speed, and he's going to utilize it second off of the bench for the David Fox barn.
Here's a horse that I like in the 8, Our Bucky Charm.
Calbred versus Open Company for Sean Williams, who's had kind of a colder meet, taking the blinkers off, right back at the same level.
The 9, One Cool Dude.
Just a strong, sizable horse when looking at him in the paddock after a near miss last time out. Maybe distance, probably more his friend.
And the 10, 50-cent dollars, rounding out the field, slight drop in class.
This is a horse that wants more ground as he cuts back in distance.
An interesting group here. Where did you ultimately land?
I went ahead and landed on the 3, but I'm going to use him with the 6 because, as I mentioned, the 6, Walleye, is going to be tactically placed, gets Eric Asmussen back aboard, and just did not run very well last time out, getting claimed now in kind of a lower percentage barn. But as I talk about my second selection, but the number 3, Martini Blue, for Abel Rodriguez Ramirez, is having a fantastic meet. And just, it feels like that 2-back performance, it just didn't quite, to me, is kind of where you have to hesitate with this horse a bit, because you take a look at the horses in Kunshan Bridge that kind of just crushed him, and just those horses just didn't run well back. But he did the work on the front end last time out before getting nailed at the wire late. I think he's going to have some speed on the front end, but he can rate Mig, and I thought he was incredibly interesting. And as you mentioned, Christian Torres having a fantastic day today. Look past his 2-back effort. I think he can rebound.
Christian Torres looking to go 5 for 5 on the afternoon. And he's a rider that I've gotten so impressed with here. He just conducts himself with so much professionalism, so much class. You know, to be a successful jockey, not only do you have to have great riding ability, skills, you have to have a certain amount of professionalism that you bring to barns, communication, being able to deal with people, and then obviously the physical prowess that goes with being a rider. I think Christian Torres is checking all the boxes for me.
He really is. And honestly, when you're betting a favorite and you're realizing the jockey is going to go 5 for 5, doesn't really, kind of makes you a little worrisome, huh, Mig?
Well, you know, so you can, two schools of thought. If you're winning, you think, well, that rider's just in his zone.
To me, it's like an anomaly, but...
Well, you're also kind of waiting for the shoe to drop.
Right.
When is he going to get beat, right?
Right.
I thought the 2 Classic Cut was a little bit interesting on the drop. Now, he does have to work out a trip from the rail, but if he can, don't you think it's a sizable enough drop in class to make this horse interesting?
Incredibly interesting, and he's just better when he's more engaged as Keith Asmussen climbs aboard, his brother, formerly on him for his last few starts. But I will say, if you go 3 back to kind of the race that made him interesting against Suffer, there were no next out winners from that race. Kind of got a perfect trip that day, and it just, to me, he just almost lugged a bit. He was kind of quirky late and found a seam. I'm not sure. He's getting the drop in class, as you mentioned, and we saw Steve be successful with that today. This is the perfect spot for him. I just wonder, with a horse that, like him, his entire profile, having not won in quite some time and also never having won at Oaklawn, I'm a little worrisome, but 6-1 is a very fair price on this horse.
Yeah, I think that's a fair price there. I landed on the 8, Our Bucky Charm. Now, your favorite is the 7, Fifth Avenue at 8-5. They come out of the same race, and Our Bucky Charm was 3 lengths behind Fifth Avenue, but he was also coming off a bit of a freshening since November, and he just ran like a horse that was short to me. So at a much better price at 5-1, I'll take a little bit of a stand with the 8, Our Bucky Charm.
Yeah, and I think that he's very versatile. He's got his better races have come on the turf, and then he kind of went in the other direction for Sean Williams, then as he was claimed back in October the 24th. And to me, I just think that he's one I want to see run a little bit better at Oaklawn Park.
Okay, well, they're all loading up. Here's Matt Dinneman with the call of race 6.
We're ready to go. And we're off. Very slow and awkward break from Laws of Man, who broke slowly and then took up through his head right at the start. He's well out of it early. Fifth Avenue on the lead, per usual. Our Bucky Charm pressing from the outside. Martini Blue sets up shop right behind, goes well early. One Cool Dude on a strong hold, 4th to the outside. JJ's Joker next, the Great Classic cut off of heels. He's 6 behind, a half length to Walleye, 5 more to 50-cent dollars. And Laws of Man is well behind as they hit the far turn. Fifth Avenue into the turn, strides a length and a half in front. Puts away Our Bucky Charm, who tries to come back on again in second. Fifth Avenue does it okay, though. Martini Blue sent along now is 3rd down on the fence. One Cool Dude about to join that one, approaching the quarter pole. Fifth Avenue still clear on the lead, coming to the top of the stretch. Fifth Avenue hugs the rail and goes for home. Our Bucky Charm 2nd. Martini Blue trying to get outside, is trying to get there anyway, but as they come down the lane, Fifth Avenue still clear. Our Bucky Charm 2nd. Martini Blue 3rd. He is outside, but Fifth Avenue, now the reins get shaken at him. Leads by 2 with a 16th to go from Our Bucky Charm. Martini Blue looks like that's how they're going to finish. It's Fifth Avenue, gate to wire here to kick off the late pick 4. Our Bucky Charm was 2nd. Martini Blue 3rd. 50-cent dollars rallies on for 4th.
Well, it was your favorite, Fifth Avenue, Francisco Arrieta. He just got very happy and comfortable on the lead, Megan.
Perfect trip. And honestly, when you look at the time form pace projector, it kind of called this race a quicker pace. But, man, you couldn't have had a more comfortable trip on the front end for Fifth Avenue and Francisco Arrieta being aggressive. And that's exactly what this horse responds to, getting the job done.
And our Bucky Charm chased him throughout. Wound up getting hit hard late. He was 5-1 when I liked him. He went up 5-2.
Yeah, that was a nice call. This horse, to me, just it almost seemed like he was running on a treadmill there a bit late, never able to really catch up with your winner.
Well, favorites reign here. Fifth Avenue gets it done in race 6, Greg.
David Fox, Francisco Arrieta. Megan, thank you. Yeah, Fifth Avenue. Impressive here for the win. As we're 2 minutes to post here in New York for race 7. And it is a first-time starter. Favored here, Covert Affair.
Well, we had Ray the other day. He didn't have much to say, but he didn't say anything negative about this one. 1/2 horse that ran okay buyers, and in this field, I can see why a first favorite. He's not getting bet that strongly. I think of the firsters, the 6 in a lot of ways is more live at 5-1 than the 8 at 5-2. Because you don't really think of Chris Engelhart as much with firsters. And this horse does have some pedigree. A half to some horse that ran $6,000 purchase. But I think that horse is the live firster that I want. Max Sure. I picked the 8 on top, but I picked it 8-6-1-3.
Let's get Maggie's thoughts on these firsters here as we're a minute to post.
Well, Greg, I actually didn't hear Ray when he discussed this first-time starter. Number 8, that is Covert Affair. I don't know if he mentioned how incredibly sway back she is. She has a significant dip in her back, and not that that's severely detrimental, but it is a pretty noticeable conformation fault. So she could be kind of quick. She has been professional, but yet aggressive, so forward and sharp in the way that she's been acting leading up to post time. She is wearing blinkers. She does come in here with a fast gate drill, so I would think that she does and will have some speed to show us leaving the stalls. It's just how much will she have late? I wonder a horse like her, given the sway back effect, if she'll be a little bit distance challenged, but the 5.5 definitely in her favor. As we'll move on to number 6, Maxi Sure, for Chris Engelhart. As Andy said, she's interesting here because she by far has the best pedigree. She's a half to flying private who is multiple graded stakes placed, albeit going long on the dirt and on the synthetic. But she's had 9 foals to run, at least here in the U.S., and 9 of them are winners. So it's a productive family, not necessarily the most precocious family, but looking at Maxi Sure, and while the dam is now 26 years old, so she's getting up there, she is pretty professional. She got a little bit wound up when they were about to throw the rider up, but Jose Lezcano's taken her away from the pony, and she's been very well behaved, at least in the warm-ups. And she's a little bit smaller, but nicely developed hind end to her, so giving the impression that she should leave there running if she continues the professionalism. And I do think the money that she is taking is meaningful. Now, I've decided to side with horses with experience, and while the one of those that is taking the most money, number 3, So True, looks fantastic, and this is only the second time she's sprinting on a fast dirt track, so willing to give her another shot there. I thought there was potentially more upside with number 1, Celestia, excuse me, as she showed speed and just got tired, and Paul Barrow is one of those trainers who really packs the conditioning on his horses, so I would think that she probably benefited from that start, wasn't covering the race in the paddock that day. She does look good. She's a little bit more tucked up through her flank, and I like the fact that she was relaxed in the paddock. Sometimes horses like her will get a bit rattled in their second start. So, Greg, with her shortening up to 5.5, I think that should help her as well, too.
All right, Maggie, thank you. Favorite 9-5 now in this first timer on the outside. Covert Affair.
Now the money's coming in. Let's go to Chris, I guess.
Still a decent price, yeah, on the rail with the speed we saw first time out from Celestia. Chris Griffin, Nightcap from New York.
Combatant Song. Covert Affair. Last to load. Covert Affair. Goes in. All set. And they're off. Max Assure breaks with early speed and towards the inside. There's Celestia in that early mix too. Bengalese from in between horses, now with the nose in front. Bengalese, as they've got plenty of speed on. Max Assure's towards the outside, now taking back Celestia in third. Moving in tandem with one another. There's Covert Affair as they're with Combatant Song, who's in fifth. From the back, All of My What Ifs. Ridden along So True, far out of it. And Golden Miracle, the trailer. 22.79, a pressured opening quarter mile. Bengalese with a head in front. Here's Max Assure ranging up on the outside. Also trying to run on there. Outside of them is Covert Affair. The green cap is Celestia. Now looks for an opening and moves to the outside. Bengalese is still there. Bengalese is still up by a half length. Now here comes Max Assure towards the outside, trying to challenge one more time. Celestia is trying to rally on. Same can be said for Combatant Song. But Max Assure and a stubborn long shot there in Bengalese battles on towards the inside. Now Max Assure gets the advantage, is up by a half length, and Max Assure wins it. Bengalese finished second, then came Celestia and Combatant Song in 1 minute 7.46 seconds.
First time starter goes off at 9-2. Max Assure, Jose Lezcano for Chris Engelhardt.
But as I said before the race, I think this was the one that oddly was taking kind of more money than not. The 8 figured to be favored, sort of just because. Where this horse didn't have to be that short a price. And the amazing thing about this race, Greg, is that was a pretty quick pace, 22 and high change. 5.5 furlongs or not for this quality of horse. Really nobody except for one horse was able to make up any ground at all during the race. Something that maybe you should remember going forward about this field.
6-5-1-4, 15-1 shot underneath, who was dropping from that alone. I should have been a shorter price.
Well, my man Paul Verderosa made a little bit of a case for Bengalese. We picked second.
Bob Baffert, strong hand for the Kentucky Oaks. We'll talk through his contenders next.
They come on for the finish in the Pilgrim Stakes. Annapolis by a head.
It is Annapolis in front. It is Annapolis to win the Coolmore Turf Mile.
Get ready for the biggest races from the Sunshine State. Join NYRA Bets handicapper Matthew DeSantis and NYRA analyst Acacia Clement for Snowbirds. Picks and valuable insight for upcoming warm weather stakes races. That and more on the NYRA Bets YouTube channel.
Say hi to our new stallion, Highland Falls. From his winning debut to that spectacular Jockey Club Gold Cup.
It is Highland Falls. He wins another one, this time the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Even his buyer was high. The race his sire made his own by a widening 4 lengths. A host of Grade 1 winners far behind. High and goodbye. Running a 107 when second in an All-Star Whitney. The rise and rise of Highland Falls. High class, on the track and on the page. This is his dam, winning the Acorn and then the Distaff. Aim high. Breed to a well-bred son of Curlin. Highland Falls, new to Darley.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
The ex-race horses that come to North Country Horses are allowed to relax after their race careers and are then brought along slowly to point to a new job.
We let the horses tell us what they might want to do.
In the case of standard-bred Call Me Kinger, Amanda Vance thinks he could do anything from pleasure riding to hunter classes at horse shows.
It doesn't matter if he goes to a show home or a pleasure home, as long as he is well cared for and loved in that home.
The gelding's education is being supported by Chelsea O'Reilly of the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation, which is also known as TRF. O'Reilly grew up driving horses and now uses her skills to transition both trotters and thoroughbreds to second careers. O'Reilly loves seeing the two organizations working together to help two kinds of horses.
By having a facility close to Saratoga, showcasing two sides of aftercare at one facility, that everybody can work together to rising tide raises all ships. So, and to be able to pick each other's brains about how to succeed and really showcase how New York is supporting aftercare.
TRF and New Vocations are among many aftercare organizations supported by the New York State Thoroughbred Breeding Fund, which has provided more than $1 million in the past decade to aftercare groups in the state. This thoroughbred was adopted by Amanda Vance from the New York Horsemen's Take the Lead program. Amanda allows volunteers as well as students to ride her gelding. The day of our visit, we met two students from local high schools which offer vocational training for the equine industry. We watched Hudson Falls senior Shaylin Perry give Small Town Throwdown his first post-track ride.
Well, we've been working on him with lunging, desensitizing, getting a saddle on him, just grooming him, getting him used to off-track life, and then trying to get him used to having a saddle and a rider now.
Next time, Shaylin grabs his mane and swings her leg over his back.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy.
It's pretty exciting to see how kindly King accepts his rider and her guidance.
Good boy.
You're so smart.
Vance and O'Reilly agree that racetrack experience helps make retraining go much more smoothly.
They are versatile, they can do anything, and they've been everywhere. They have truck, they have trailer, they see the vet, they see the farrier. They are so well-minded for their age bracket that they can go on to any career.
When you adopt a horse from our program, you're actually helping two horses. So you've adopted him out of our program, and that makes room for the next horse to come in.
There's your winner to close things out at Aqueduct, Max Assurer. Chris Engelhardt, My Purple Haze Stables, and 2 today for Jose Lezcano.
Yep, good aggressive ride and gets the job done. Congrats to Chris Engelhardt as well, and a double win for him. This horse got the win and got claimed, a $6,000 yearling claimed for $20,000. And as I was saying to you off air, because apparently the 6 and 8 both got claimed, or that's what we had heard. The problem with making a claim in this race is if the horse you claimed wins, where do you go from this race necessarily to try to win a race next time? And if your horse doesn't win, do you really want it for $20,000? So it's kind of a catch-22. A little surprised that anyone was claimed for this race. I guess it had to be the firsters, but still, good luck.
Sold for 6 at auction.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner for My Purple Haze Stables. Be partying down with little Jimi Hendrix tonight. Little Jimi Hendrix and a little extra cash.
And a little carryover in the pick 6.
We haven't had a carryover in a while, I would think. Yeah. Because we've been running small fields with short prices. Probably a big part of the
So $12,189 into the Friday card. Going to break.
Abel Tasman's roaring down the center of the track. Vexatious is also there. Lockdown's trying to find a seam toward the inside. 1 furlong to go. And Abel Tasman has gone from last to first in the Oaks with 1 furlong left. Vexatious fights on. Lockdown coming up the rail. Daddy's Little Darling's got a shot. 100 yards to go. Abel Tasman in front. A final try from Daddy's Little Darling. Abel Tasman from last to first in the Oaks.
I got cut off there, but yeah, I said going to break. We were talking about Bob Baffert and his Oaks contenders, and Abel Tasman. She'd wind up having a couple of huge moments at Saratoga in her career.
Well, she should have been disqualified when she beat Elate by a nose in the CCA Oaks, but she was a very good horse. She came back, and I think she won the I believe she beat Salty to win the A-corner next start at Belmont on Belmont Stakes weekend. She's a very, very nice horse. Went on, and Bob, I believe, he's won this. Now, Silver Bullet Day probably won this race, right? He also, Plum Pretty also won this race. So Bob's had a lot of success there as well.
He's got a few big names, but the two big names top of the list there. Explora just won the Honeybee at Oaklawn, Bottle of Rouge. Now back-to-back stakes wins, including that Virginia Oaks. She was 4-5 that day. Here's Explora. Runner-up, Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. It's the Oakleaf winner before that. 2 stakes wins as a 3-year-old now.
Yeah, and both Greg and I have had trouble sleeping all week in the excitement about the fantasy draw, which is going to be on the show tomorrow. I think she's going to be the morning line favorite, Explora. I'll put it this way, though. Do you have any idea who the horse to beat is in the Kentucky Oaks at this point? I feel like as open as the Kentucky Derby is, this race, because
even more so, yeah.
We've only seen Zany with the one race. This horse is pretty good.
She's been incredibly consistent, right? 4 wins, 3 runner-ups in all of her 7 starts.
Though the wow factor is 0. There's nothing about her that gets you excited. She may be that kind of horse that maybe she just always shows up and runs well, and that'll be good enough to win. But right now, man, this Kentucky Oaks is wide open.
We do have Fairgrounds this weekend, the undefeated Bella Ballerina.
Yes, Bella Ballerina's in there.
She's sort of, to this point right now, sort of like the Good Cheer of last year.
Right, a horse that I'll bet against Kentucky Oaks. She'll end up winning, and she'll never win again. I like Newtown Pike. I wanted to bet her in the Honeybee. She scratched. She's in the Fairgrounds Oaks, and I'm all in.
Bottle of Rouge. Virginia Oaks. She's been, 2-5, then 4-5 each of her last 2 starts. 2 for 2 now, but it's going to get tougher and tougher, the competition, as she moves on. But again, 86, 87 buyers.
Right.
No one's really giving you that kind of wow factor.
I mean, going into the year, Zany would have been my, I'm not going to make a Kentucky Oaks pick, but she would have been my top pick if you had to put a gun to my head. I'm not saying it really matters that much, but I thought her return to Suncoast was kind of blah. I love the way she lugged in. She'll be heading in towards the Ashland, the first grade one for the 3-year-old fillies on opening day weekend at Keeneland, which is just 3 weeks away, right? 3 weeks away.
Pull your calendar up.
3 weeks. 3 weeks away.
Not ready for
No,
math.
2 weeks away. 2 weeks away.
Here are the upcoming Oaks preps. Bourbonette for 50, and then Fairgrounds, Fantasy. Gulfstream Oaks and the Ashland all worth 100 points.
And I imagine Todd is running back, is it Oh So Smooth, the horse that won the Devona Dale. She'll try to stretch the 2 turns in Gulfstream. She runs there. She ran a big figure in winning the Devona Dale. It's wide open. I'm interested to see what Zany does. Does she take a big step forward the way Nest did from the Suncoast to the Ashland?
We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. More ahead. We're 9 minutes away. Race 7 at Oaklawn. Chalky first couple of legs of the late pick 5 out there. Up next, action continues. We'll get back to Meg right after this. Good to have you with us on our Thursday coverage here on Fox Sports 2 of America's Day at the Races. Post-parade coming up. Race 7 here at Oaklawn. $24,000 maiden claiming sprint, all for sale in this race. And here's a look at the 2. Engagement, speed from the inside.
Sorry, Greg. Let me get my act together and get there. Yeah, I mean, this horse just has never gotten a buyer figure in the double digits, so not for me.
She's an earner for the Asmussen Barn. Steve with son Eric aboard.
She's had her chances, but in this field, I think she has to be considered a contender. She's never gone this short on the dirt. We'll see if the cutback helps her.
Ron Moquette Barn, clapback.
Yeah, I mean, based on her last race, she's a player, too, where she showed significant speed, though I prefer the horse outside of her.
Lindsay Schultz, Legal Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, this horse is making a significant drop, should be stalking outside of clapback, and she's simply the horse to beat.
Silvertown, a little interesting. This is career start number 8, though.
I agree. I mean, if you think the pace can heat up, she has a chance.
Pippa's Nonsense, Greg Compton Barn.
Yeah, I don't see how. She's just a little slow.
You're lucky you're cute. Burl McBride trains is out.
Yeah.
Here's the 10 plain flat out.
Yeah, this horse is just too slow to compete
And
here.
Steal Your Soul on the outside for Alan Milligan. 2 starts, both at similar levels, and has not shown a lot.
Just has, I mean, just hasn't really run fast enough to compete with these, but is a huge price if you like.
8-5 favorite from the barn of a contender for this year's Oaks, who was second in the Martha Washington. That's Newtown Pike trainer Lindsay Schultz. Let's go out to Megan.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. And absolutely, Newtown Pike's only run 3 times, 1 on debut, 2 seconds in stakes, a really good effort behind Search Party. She's a filly, just a little step forward. She's a player, isn't she, Megan?
I've always really liked this horse. She is a closer, though, and does depend naturally on the setup of what's in front of her. But she ran tremendous in that Martha Washington. Pace wasn't all that overzealous by any means, and she's a type of filly that I've noticed isn't the, she doesn't carry the most weight, she doesn't carry the most condition, maybe not the easiest keeper, just to keep that weight and flesh on her. And I really like the spacing that Lindsay Schultz has been able to give her coming into this Fairgrounds Oaks, where I think, as Andy alluded to, this division is wide open. I've had a thing for her since she ran in New York, and I continue to do so.
You know, a trainer has to assess how much those races take out of a horse. They get them back to the barn. They see how they eat up. They see how they train over the next week or two. So I think she did the right thing. She said, you know what, my filly ran so hard. Let me give her enough time to recover and now point her for the Fairgrounds Oaks, and obviously the ultimate goal being the Kentucky Oaks early in the year. And then, I mean, to me, my favorite race for 3-year-old fillies is the Alabama.
She seems like the type. If she continues to improve, she's got that long sustained run. She's got some size and some scope to her. We'll see down the road, but she's also got Lindsay Schultz has the favorite here in this group, the number 6 Legal Lightning, who, I mean, drops in class. And take out her last performance where she just did not have run that day against much tougher. She makes so much sense in this group.
You know, and you think maybe the blinkers on, keep her just a little bit more attentive. I mean, she's been close enough to the pace. So the drop in class, I think, is really what points her out. The 3-horse, she's an earner. Steve Asmussen's Barn, leading trainer, doing so well. His son Eric riding this one. He's riding in great form. Big turn back here.
I like the turn back for her. I am usually a turn back player, but I mean, this horse I find does have some size to her. She looked absolutely fantastic in the paddock. Nowhere of the means of a $24,000 claimer, but it's kind of interesting. She's got that Turpy pedigree, as you'll see her grass tries through her form line. Her dam won on grass and synthetic. Her second dam was a group winner in Europe on grass. So I understand those tries, but at the same time, by authentic, she's not overtly turf meant. So I love her shortening back up in distance, continuing to show speed. I thought she was a real player, albeit at 5-2.
Well, you and I both have a lot of interest in the 5-horse Clapback, who, if you look at the fractions, the first fraction she has set in her last 2 starts, much faster than an ordinary maiden claiming race, sub 22 quarters to begin both of her last 2 starts.
Well, it almost seemed as if though she ran off last time out. She was 4 lengths ahead there at one point. She had a very comfortable margin, and then she was just completely closed down and weakened at the 16th pole there in the short comment, and that's pretty much how exactly it played out. I sometimes get very weary of horses that just, it would be different if maybe she did that. at the mile or mile and a 16th, but she did it at the 6 furlong. So I just wonder if she's still going to be able to sustain that speed. But I will say, Meg, I liked her so much because she looked fantastic. I was between her and the 3 on paper. I went ahead and landed on the 3 at the end of the day, but the 5 to me has taken a step forward since I've been able to see her since December here at Oaklawn.
Yeah, I thought she made a great physical impression as well. That's where I landed on the 5 Clapback. I like speed in situations like that. I won a lot of races over the years with lower level horses, just taking control of a race. They don't get discouraged that way, and maybe they do a little bit of discouraging. The trick for Keith Asmussen on this Ron Moquett trainee, you got to break like a whisper. Don't breathe, don't move, don't ask her for speed, but don't take anything away from her. Just as quiet as you can possibly be. And sometimes they kind of sneak into that race, that first 1/8 of a mile, and that gives them a little bit left to hang on to the last 1/8 of a mile.
Yeah, giving her a breather. Maybe she doesn't need to sit right up there on the lead as she did the number 5 in her last 2 starts. And it's interesting, Meg, the top 3 betting choices in this race are all horses that are better when they're up on that early pace.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other interesting runners. I'm not as high on your co-second choice here, the 7, Silvertown. Just a filly that just seems like she has a lot of hard time keeping it together.
And that's exactly what she showed us in the paddock. She was very skittish. She's kind of a big, burly 3-year-old filly who doesn't even look like she's 3 almost. I mean, she kind of gives the appearance of an older horse, and she's got a lot of substance to her. I've had fitness questions about her, and she's been continually racing. So I think that's just her. I don't think that it's a matter of fitness. I think she's just, that's her, and that's her type. And I just have my monumental questions about this horse. She's just kind of been default 3rd in her last couple of tries, default in her last races, and I just didn't like the visual of her last 2, and they are in and around this level.
Are you a bit surprised that both her, the 7, Silvertown, is taking the money she is at 7-2, and the 8, no nonsense or whatever? I can't even read her name here. Can you read that?
Pippa's Nonsense.
Pippa's Nonsense.
I'm completely surprised by the money this horse is taking off a 12-1 morning line. And maybe it's Christian Torres money, and that's just, the name of the game, especially when jockeys are having these really, really great days. But this horse wants ground. I did not think that she gave me anything in the paddock that made me really want to bet her in this race. And I love to go hunting for prices and try to figure them out. And this horse just appears, as Andy kind of said, just a bit too slow for this group.
I feel like you and I are in agreement, though, maybe not on our ultimate top selection, but the race feels like it goes between the 3, 5, and 6.
It does, and they're all going to be, as I mentioned, on that early pace. I wonder the number 2, Engagement, up there at a huge price, who's just not done any running. Those blinkers come off. Are they going to kind of settle her to take a little bit of the pace out of this race, as she was the leader last time out?
Gosh, so, I mean, it was a 22-1 as opposed to Clapback going 21-4, 21-3 the previous start. And she just hasn't even cracked a double-digit buyer yet, the 1 Engagement down on the inside. I definitely think the race goes through the 3, 5, and 6. I'm on the 5 Clapback. They're going to have to come catch her. Let's see how it plays out. Matt Dinneman with the call of race 7 from Oaklawn Park.
Flat out. Legal Lightning coming forward. And to the outside, Steal Your Soul. Legal Lightning goes in. Steal Your Soul to round out the group. We're ready to go. And they're off. Good dispatch for all. From the inside, Engagement showing speed. Clapback a little bit quicker. Clapback on the lead now. She's an earner, will stride in second with Engagement. Clapback rationing her speed kindly today. Leads 3 parts of a length from Engagement second. Legal Lightning perched 3 wide into third. She's an earner back in fourth. Steal Your Soul fifth. She's 4 lengths off the lead in the blue blinkers here. Gap of 3 is Silvertown with Pippa's No Sense. And at the back is Plain Flat Out as they go into the far turn. Clapback 3 furlongs to go. Strides a length and a half in front. Legal Lightning in chase mode second, getting a little bit closer. 3 parts of a length behind. Engagement calls it an afternoon. She's an earner. 2 off the pace. Has not been asked for her best yet. Is getting closer. 3 wide, hitting the quarter pole. Clapback on the lead. She's an earner, making a blitz towards her. And these two come off the turn together. She's an earner. Goes by Clapback at the 3/16. Clapback, though, is coming back. She's an earner, has asked for her best. Clapback alongside Eric and Keith going at it here, approaching the 16th pole. Clapback on the inside, head in front. She's an earner right there to the outside. Clapback short lead coming to the finish. Clapback, she's an earner. It's Clapback. Clapback over She's an Earner, then Silvertown, and Pippa's No Sense.
And it was the speed of the number 5 Clapback that gets it done. What an incredible job by Keith Asmussen to have this filly settled, relaxed. He broke like a whisper, allowed her to carry him into the race.
I said, I think Keith heard you maybe somewhere out there in his head, just lightly talking to him about how to ride that race, and he rode it to perfection. And a brothers Asmussen throwdown in the end. Eric was trying to come get him, but in the end, the gritty determination of the 5 Clapback on the inside, and it's not easy to take the heat on the front end and still have to take it down the lane in the way she did, especially a $24,000 claimer.
How much fun had this must have to been for the two brothers, especially Keith coming out on top. I know my brothers would have never got by me, besides the fact that they couldn't ride horses. They would have never got by me anyway.
Well, do you think that would be really fun to watch, the brothers Migliori, and the Italian in you, I don't think would ever let anybody get by at the end of the day.
We'd have been rolling around on the floor in the jockey's room afterwards probably too, but it was Clapback in a game performance. Trainer Ron Moquette, Keith Asmussen beating his dad Steve and his brother Eric in a stretch battle.
Asmussen brothers dueling it out, 1-2 finish. Keith wins this round with the speedster Clapback, both going off at 4-1 here.
Boy, the 3 She's an Earner looked like about as big a cinch
How
as you
did she not go by?
possibly be, Tom. She did go by and hung like a chandelier.
Clapback, Ron Moquette, and Keith. He's been very supportive of Keith from the beginning days. Gets the win here in race 7. We'll have those prices coming up. Picture time for this 3-year-old filly by Galilean. We'll be back with more America's Day at the Races after this timeout.
My favorite race is the 2019 Kentucky Oaks with my horse, Serengeti Empress, crossing the finish line first and everything that she brought to us with that win. I don't know what it's like to actually be an athlete in a major event, but I think that walkover is about as close a feeling as you can get to it, because you just feel electric inside.
They're off in the Kentucky Oaks.
I really wasn't watching her out of the gate because a horse had stumbled and lost its rider. And I immediately turned to that horse to make sure she was okay. And then I turned my attention back to Serengeti Empress, who was making the lead going to the first turn and saving ground from the 13 hole. That was the plan. So everything to this point is going great. My wife had turned to me and said, 46 and change, that is too quick for a half mile. And I turned and I said, not for my horse, it's not. Turning for home, I thought she cut the corner great. She's gonna take a challenge right here. And I'm like, uh-oh. But when Serengeti sees this filly out of the corner of her eye, she re-brakes, takes off, and it's right about here where I realize I'm gonna win the Kentucky Oaks.
As they come down to the line, Serengeti Empress has taken the Kentucky Oaks.
I remember raising my hands like this, and then one of my friends patted me on the back, and I lost my balance. And I fell into my daughter, and I fell into my wife, and we hit the floor. And everybody piled on like it was like we just won the World Series. I must have thought about a million things at the same time, but the most overwhelming thought in my head was my parents. And I always hoped I could do something in their lifetime that would make them proud, a signature race, and this was it for me. I mean, how do you describe something that just makes everything in the world seem great? I don't know what's in the future for Tom Amoss Racing Stable, what big races might be out there, but for me, this will be the one, and she'll be the one. I'll never, ever forget her.
An unforgettable, career-defining moment for Tom Amoss, who just announced earlier this week he will be transitioning out of training, handing his stable over to his longtime assistant, Kindle LaRose. He'll still stay on in an advisory role, but essentially retiring, I should say, as a trainer. He joins us on the phone right now. Tom, we're so happy for you. I want to ask first, was this a long time coming, or was this something that kind of caught you by surprise too?
Well, that's a great question, Greg. I guess I thought a little bit about it, but the overwhelming reasons were, number one, I have a great assistant, and being able to help him in his training career and being alongside of him for it. And reflecting back to when I started, I didn't have any real connections in the business, and I had to make my own path. I thought it was a great opportunity to give him a head start and take a really talented horseman and moving forward. Maybe losing some friends recently, and watching the health of some others made me think that maybe it's time for me to take a day off here and there and enjoy life. I guess all those things kind of culminated sometime after Christmas this year, and I began to think seriously about it. Look, I'll be honest with you, when it's been your way of life since you were in high school, it's hard, and I certainly have my big cry, but I'm very good with it now, and I'm really looking forward to working with Kindle LaRose, who will be the trainer of the stable. And I have to say this, I went to each of my owners, and they all stood with me on this move. So the transition to Kinnan, he'll get all the owners that we have together right now, and everybody's going to give him a chance. And I think that's a real credit to the kind of people that I work for, and I'm excited.
We need to give you your due. I'm going to let you in 1 second here, but just congratulations on what an incredible career. 4,276 wins. One of only 20 trainers in the history of the sport to reach that number. 19th all-time career earnings. You have accomplished quite a bit. When you look back on your career, what are you going to be most proud of, Tom?
I think, Greg, that I always try to do it the right way. I try to do it with honor, and I try to do it putting the horse first, always. And everybody that's worked for me in the past and currently knows that that's the case, and that's the way the stable operates, and that's probably really our our real theme, to take care of the horse. I'm very proud of that.
Wouldn't you also say, in a lot of ways, I think, being 19th in the earnings list, it's also longevity, right? It's not easy in any occupation to be successful for as long as you've been successful. But, I mean, a lot of people forget you've been on your own for now, what, almost 30 years, maybe more, and been successful for the vast majority of it, Tom.
Yeah, Andy, it is. It's right at 40 years. And in any career, whether it's mine or anybody else's, especially one that's in the public setting like sports, you're going to have your ups and downs. But really, the ups outweigh the downs by a bunch. And I never had a bad day with the horses. I mean, certainly there were days that things didn't go right. But being around the animals and working with the horses, these elite athletes, it always brought me so much joy. And I was lucky. I knew early on it's what I wanted to do. I come from a family of 6 boys, and they all do something different. And but my parents, who knew nothing about horse racing, always supported me in the sense that, if that's your dream, you should go get it. And that was a big help.
So I just want to say, there's no truth to the rumor that you really retired because you want to hope to spend more time with me?
With you? Yeah.
I know Colleen's hoping for that.
But the pluses and minuses, that was number one on the pluses.
I knew it.
We see that piece. We just saw it again, Tom. It's one of my favorites. My favorite race that was Serengeti Empress. We know that story. She was sensational. Oh boy, here they are going. Andy barking at you. What about a win that we might not be aware of? That's one of your favorites that stood out to you over the years. Is there one that you instantly recall?
Well, winning my 4,000th race and doing it at Saratoga and it being a stakes race. And not only that, the crew at Fox, you guys and the people behind the camera too, were so attuned to it that it really was a show that was featured around me winning my 4,000th race. Who gets to do that? And who gets to do it in a stakes win at Saratoga? And it brought me back to when I was at Saratoga as an assistant trainer. This would have been back in 1987. And I was working for John Paracella. And I was his assistant in 87. The barn area basically looks the same as it did back then. A nice, well-kept wooden barns. And I didn't have 2 dimes to rub together. My paycheck, I just recently got married with Colleen, and we live paycheck to paycheck. And as an assistant trainer, I had a guy that was a friend of my dad's from New Orleans come and take me to dinner at the Wishing Well, which is still one of my favorite restaurants in Saratoga. And I think both you guys have been with me to that restaurant. But in any case, when I won that 4,000th race, my youngest daughter, Haley, who works for the Breeders' Cup, and my wife, Colleen, were there. Unfortunately, my other daughter, Ashley, wasn't. But they said, what do you want to do to celebrate? I said, I want to go back to the Wishing Well because it's a real full circle moment. That win meant a lot to me just because never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be competing at Saratoga to begin with as a trainer, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I would win that many races. So that was a big one, a really, really big one in my heart for sure.
Congratulations, incredible career. I hope this means we're going to get to spend more time with you.
Well, that depends. You personally, Greg? Absolutely. We're going to have fun together. I'm going to get to stay out a little later. The guy that's to your side, nothing's going to change there.
I'm hoping it means I can spend more time around Colleen. We put up with you because we like to be around Colleen. That's what the real true story is.
Let me tell you something, you guys. I miss y'all. I miss everybody on both sides of the camera. If you guys take the time to, put me on the air for this, I'm honored. Please tell everybody I said thank you, and I really look forward to seeing you guys.
We'll see you in a couple of months.
You should be really proud, Tom. Incredible career. Amazing what you accomplished, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Greg. Andy, I appreciate the compliments.
See you soon, Tom.
We say it all the time. Look, 4,276 wins. That is an amazing number for that amount of wins in that 4,000 club. best winning percentage of anyone.
No, I think that's the other thing. You know, Tom wanted about a 26% clip over his career, and as you say, the highest win percentage, maybe winning 4,000 races, and that includes some people like Bobby Frankel, you know, some of the greatest trainers in the history of the game, and Tom has more than left his mark on the game, and it's nice to be able to leave where he is and leave in such a good position where he's still basically on top and still training top horses. And I remember the first time I met Tom, he at the time was training for Clarvett Stables, and I was actually Seth was at Saratoga, or not Saratoga, at Belmont, and Tom came by the table. I never met him, and I immediately started giving him a hard time about something. I don't even know what, and Tom looked at me and said, now I'm beginning to wonder why so many people hate you. It was the beginning of a long love affair between the two of us. Yes, I immediately respected him.
And then we thought, you know, we should put those two on air together. Right. And it's worked out. We're going to see Tom all summer long, Saratoga. But, yeah, congratulations to him. What a great career he had. Obviously, that amazing moment with Serengeti Empress. And, you know, he talks about my favorite race. That, for her, that's not even my favorite race. Her most amazing race to me was the Ballerina.
I agree. It's funny that you say that because when you were asking Tom about other highlights, I was thinking, what could be a more exciting win than the only thing wrong with her Ballerina was it was during the COVID year and nobody was there.
Yeah.
But that was...
Had the rail, broke slow, rushed up to the lead with some incredible closers.
She also dueled with that speed horse that never, Latruska.
Yeah.
Who won like 7 of 8 races around that.
Amazing performance.
Incredible performance. I agree. That was I agree. In some ways, that was a more remarkable win than a win in the Oaks.
11 minutes to post. Race 8 at Oaklawn. Let's wrap up the 7th, though. Clap back. Keith out-dueling Eric. And Ron Moquette. Southern Springs Stables. After 4 starts not hitting the board, picture time.
Well, I wonder if Keith was excited to go back to winner's circle. He probably hoped his dad wasn't there to yell at him for outgaming his brother and the horse that he trained on Clapback.
I mean, these two, brother and brother down the stretch, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I put a little extra into it. But they're both evolving as riders.
I agree.
Race 8, 6 furlongs in this allowance optional claiming group. Zero Sugar. They tried sprinting last start, and boy, did it work out on the cutback.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess Zero Sugar has that crazy fast race last time, but I always wonder, you know, we talk about this a little bit. Did you want the horse last time in the turnback, or do you want the horse at the short price today? But that horse runs that number. They can't beat her.
Yeah, 98 Beyer speed figure in the win, turning back in distance last time out. That was back on March the 1st at Oaklawn. And there's one of several contenders going to try and beat Zero Sugar. Classic time for Norm Cassidy. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Olympiad gets the gold in the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Have it at $410,000. There's your winner, $410,000. $400,000.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets. Join analysts Matthew DeSantis and Kaylee Shapiro on the road to the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks. Get picks and analysis for all the prep races and gain insight into promising contenders on the trail to the Derby and Oaks. That and more on the Naira Bets YouTube channel. The Belmont Stakes Racing Festival returns for the final time to historic Saratoga Racecourse. Don't miss the Belmont Festival at Saratoga. June 3rd through 7th. Secure your place in history at BelmontStakes.com.
The day is here when legends are made and anything is possible. The 2026 Arkansas Derby, where the prize is $1.5 million and a shot at glory at the Kentucky Derby.
Here's Sandman threatening to run a big one. And Sandman, he's run his A race, and he gets a confidence booster heading to Kentucky.
Come witness history. Plan your stay today at Oaklawn Hot Springs and come join the fun.
Back with you on our Thursday coverage here on Fox Sports 2. We got race 8 feature coming up at Oaklawn. It's a good one. Zero Sugar just dominant last time out. 98 Beyer speed figure in the win on the turn back to sprinting. And is that what this horse wants to do? We will see if he can back it up today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that kind of number is too good for these. This is not a field of slouches, but that's too fast a figure for these. But I think there are some other horses that are at least a little bit interesting talking about. What about the 5 second off the layoff, getting a fast track? A horse that ran some pretty big races last year.
And they put him in the Grade 3 Razorback in just the third start of his career. There's the one, Bohemian Bow, going by. Speed from the rail.
Yeah, he looks like the speed, but his best race is not bad, to be fair.
Big City. Barnes doing very well, Ray Ashford.
Yeah, he's another horse that, he's not going to be in front, but he's not that slow, and he's got some fast races.
I thought the 3 was a contender.
Yeah, I mean, this is a barn that's a little bit cold so far at the meet, but can be very dangerous off the claim.
Big Vince, one of the biggest prices on the board, and here's the 5, Baddest Good Boy.
I think Baddest Good Boy is a very interesting alternative to the favorite.
4-1, Ramon Vasquez on Classic Time.
Yeah, I mean, this horse is in very good form for Norm Cassie, but unfortunately this Louisiana bred's going to have to take another big step forward to win this race.
3 of his last 4, but he has a big step up. And then here's the big favorite, even money, Zero Sugar.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is this horse, was the turn back last time, and he really is a last time was the time horse. Kind of horse I probably regret that I didn't bet on the last race, but has run well sprinting in the past. It's only the 3rd start sprinting in the debut. This horse finished second, but finished second to some horse you might not have heard of, Cornucopian. Mm-hmm. And he ran an 89 Beyer in his debut going 6 furlongs. So maybe he's a horse that should have been sprinting all along.
Well, if you follow this program closely, you know this owner, Staten Flurry, Megan with him now. He has Zero Sugar.
That's right, Greg. And Staten, this horse just seemed like the ultimate light bulb almost flash in an incredibly fast race as you cut him back last time out.
Yeah, that was, I shouldn't say it was kind of a fluke, but we had entered going long and the race didn't go. So we're like, okay, there's a straight on 2 sprinting. Let's throw him in there. He ran good against Cornucopian first out. And it seemed like the light bulb, like you said, went on. And hopefully he can continue it today because his numbers are as good as anybody sprinting. So.
Absolutely. But what have you and Sippy Contreras learned about him through time? I feel like he's always been a talented sort.
Yeah. If you look at the first 2 races here, it was really just some bad luck. He stumbled at the break 2 races ago. Then the race before that, he kind of got pushed the whole pace away all the way around. So, I mean, he's just one of those horses that it doesn't matter if he's going short, long. We kind of want to try him on the grass down the road. He seems like no matter what you throw at him, he's going to fight and he's going to run his race. So we're excited to see what the future holds with him.
Good luck, Staten.
Hey, appreciate it. See ya.
Zero Sugar taking all the money as he looks to build on a very impressive 98 Beyer speed figure and that impressive victory at last time out, Greg.
Probably more well-known for all the parking lots he owns, including one right across the street from Oaklawn, but also campaigned Kentucky Oaks winner She Dares the Devil.
Who won in an upset in the COVID year, actually beating that
Swiss Skydiver and...
Right.
For Bob Baffert.
Right. Starts with the G. Of course, who won the ballerina the next year? Can't remember her name.
This performance was huge from Zero Sugar, and she'd been going along really since the debut and that first start, which was against Cornucopian when he was second. It had been all routing until that most recent race, but 4-5 now as we take a look at the 3. Here's Good As I Once Was, just claimed.
I'm not as good as I once was. I was never that good, but now I'm definitely not as good as I once was.
Back-to-back wins.
I don't see how this horse wins this race.
Okay.
I just didn't think this horse was good enough, unless you really think this horse is going to improve off the claim. And does have a very good record, but mostly against lower-level races. But 9 for 24, huh?
Let's go to Megan Meg.
Yeah, guys, I'm not as good as I once was, Megan.
Yes, you are.
Nah, I think the best ride I ever gave a horse was in the Knickerbocker Handicap in 1981, and it was all downhill from there.
We talked about this.
Yeah, it wasn't
Japan
as
Cup,
good as I
the
once
young
was.
Mig. Yeah.
But what do you think about good as I once was here?
I'd agree with Andy. I think that I think he's a bit too slow for this group, but at the same time, it's Oaklawn, and we're both pretty much going into the favorites camp in this race.
But does come off a very, very game win here at Oaklawn. Is 2 for 5 with a second and a third. So a horse that runs well here at Oaklawn Park had to like this game effort. It was a much easier group.
Much easier group where he was able to get on the lead, and he's going to have a lot more speed to deal with than just faster horses accompanying him up front, which was my main problem with him. And while it seems as though it's not a huge step up in class, to me, there's horses in here like the likes of Zero Sugar and even Classic Time that are stakes quality, even if Classic Time's maybe Louisiana bred stakes quality. But he ran a great race last time out there for Norm Cassie. And Zero Sugar, if he can continue to build and not, per se, bounce off of his last performance, I'd say, while Art the owner kind of alluded to trying different things, he's a stakes caliber sprinter.
I'm with you. I think sprinting's the key. I mean, Go Two Back was well beaten around 2 turns, but look who won. Knew What's New by better than, about 12 lengths. And Knew What's New was second to Magnitude in the Razorback.
The number 1, Bohemian Beau. I smiled when I saw him come up on the PPs because he's an Archie bred and he's taking on Open Foes, Mig, and he was his typical Bohemian Beau self, very sharp in the paddock. He had 2 handlers, the typical prototype of a speed horse, and he breaks from the rail. To me, Mig, he goes. And he's also one that always carries his weight in flesh, and he is the same typical burly Bohemian Beau, try saying that 3 times fast, that he always has been.
Burly Bohemian Beau. I like it. He's a 6-time winner, earner of $572,000. I also handicap jockeys as well as horses, and Walter De La Cruz is a guy that's aggressive, and from the rail that just lends more urgency. I agree with you. I think he'll have all his speed here in open company. The 5, Baddest Good Boy. I like this horse a little bit. I don't know if he's as good as the 7, Zero Sugar, but he broke his maiden nicely sprinting, then went right to 2-turn races. I think he's doing what he really wants to do. And last time in the mud, it just looked like it took him forever to find his rhythm, to get into a good stride. I don't anticipate that being an issue today.
No, he was way too far back. And this is a horse where it's kind of funny. You question, is he as good as he once was? And he's got to go back to that form to meet them here, as he ran behind Awesome Aaron earlier here at Oaklawn Park. And those races are capable of winning. Is he going to be that same kind of horse second off the bench? I'd agree with you. He's got to be more engaged, and tactically met. He was in a different area code and just seemed at a loss there. But I give him credit. I think he's a very interesting option if you're against the favorite, and he's going to be tactically meant, hopefully sitting just behind those speeds more involved.
Especially with the addition of blinkers. Usually the idea behind blinkers is to get a horse a little more focused, a little bit more engaged. The 6, Classic Time, is in very good form, coming back off of back-to-back wins. This is a tougher spot, though.
He is a horse that last time out, we thought, when he won that race against Poker Night at V's, who came back to, finish in kind of a blanket there last week, he was just continued to ask throughout. This horse looked beat around the turn. And then when you talk to Norm Cassie, that's just him. He is one that you really have to continue to get after, and he's a Louisiana bred, so those races in his form lines have come there at the fairgrounds where he's able to really utilize that long stretch run that Norm kind of said was exactly what pretty much suited his running style. They were almost hesitant if he was going to have the same effect here at Oaklawn, so I think it's a positive signal. Obviously, the purse prize is here against Open Foes. It's the right spot for him, but that is his Achilles heel. Is he going to get there in time? Is he going to be grinding away when a horse like Zero Sugar is powering away ahead of him on the front end?
Well, a true bicycle horse. If you're not pedaling, he's not running. But I love the fact that he's got a winning profile. I think he's going to need to take another step forward, as they all will, to handle the 7, Zero Sugar. Just his last race is such a standout. And his company lines. I mean, Cornucopian in his first start, he was second, well beaten there, but second. Came back to break his maiden. I just like him sprinting, and the outside post just aids his cause.
If you go through his pedigree, it's more of a sprint female side as well. Twirling Candy are sizable horses that you can get him going short or long. But I think this horse was begging for a cutback going through his forum lines when he was just up against much tougher, as you mentioned, and he beat a quality horse in Senior Officer. As we take a look, there is a late scratch. It appears just announced. The number 3, Good As I Once Was, is now a late scratch, Mick.
Yeah, Good As I Once Was certainly wasn't as good today as he once was, as he is a late scratch. And, you know, it's just protocols in place. They've got a crackerjack veterinarian team here at Oaklawn, just as they do in New York. And if something's not right, always better to err on the side of caution. There'll be another day. Want to make this game as safe as possible. So Good As I Once Was is a late scratch. Does it change the complexion of this race at all, you think?
Good As I Once Was going to be there probably on the lead. Last time out, he was ridden aggressively. I think he's going to be it just takes a huge amount of pace out of this race? I do not, because last time I felt that he was kind of taking advantage of that group, wanting to be more forward. So it definitely was another option for some, trying to go against your favorite with Christian Torres aboard. But I did opt to fade him in this group, just hoping for the health of everyone involved and making sure he comes home safe in the end.
Yeah, I do think that Bohemian Bow makes the lead now, but Zero Sugar will not be far away.
No, he will be tactically meant, and honestly, this horse could just be faster than this group. If you really go through some of those Timeform US speed figures, I mean, the likes of Big Vence, I think, could even be the quickest early with the Prentice Amir Mendoza aboard, who, if you go through some of his form lines, he's taking that switch. He's getting back to this distance, which he has always appreciated, but that came on the all-weather.
Yeah, so could be an absolute different circumstance here. You know, sometimes jockeys need to be a pilot. Sometimes they need to be a passenger. I think with Zero Sugar, Manny Esquivel, be a good pilot, stay out of his way. Where Walter De La Cruz on Bohemia Bow, he's got to be a pilot and leave from the rail. We have opinions. Horses have the answer. And Matt Dinneman, he has your call.
Two back. Classic Time goes in, Zero Sugar to the outside. We're ready to go. And we're off. Bohemian Bow, the Arkansas bred, gets the first call of the race. Big Vince alongside. These two match their motors early with Zero Sugar 2.5 behind, running in third. Classic Time is next. Big City second to last. And Baddest Good Boy at the tail end of the field while being encouraged to pick it up early. Down the backstretch, Bohemian Bow concedes the lead. Big Vince clears off. Big Vince hits the half-mile pole, accelerates to a 3-length lead. 21-1 that first quarter mile. Big Vince quarter horsing and out of the gate is opened up. Now 5 or 6 around the far turn. Bohemian Bow's second. Zero Sugar gets a reminder to go after Big Vince around the turn. 2 back to Classic Time. Then Big City and Baddest Good Boy as they approach the quarter pole. Big Vince coming back to the group now. Big Vince went really fast early. Tries to stick around here, but here's Bohemian Bow on the scene. Zero Sugar 3 wide in the swing off the turn. Bohemian Bow's got the lead. Zero Sugar trying to race past him now. Bohemian Bow 1 furlong to go. Narrow lead. Zero Sugar right up alongside. Bohemian Bow 16th to go. Zero Sugar bearing down from the outside, grabs the lead close to home, and Zero Sugar pulls clear late to win. Bohemian Bow in a very good effort second. Classic Time third. Baddest Good Boy ran on for fourth and galloped out big.
Well, a race that featured a wicked sharp pace set by the 4-horse Big Vince. Heads up ride here by Walter De La Cruz, who backed out of that speed to a Bohemian Bow, but to no avail, as your favorite Zero Sugar ran him down. A very game Arkansas bred in Bohemian Bow, but Zero Sugar, another big effort.
Have to give credit. I mean, maybe Zero Sugar didn't run to probably perhaps the 98. It wasn't as visually impressive, maybe perhaps, as a 3 to 5 shot, but I am so just over the moon for these connections of the number 1 Bohemian Bow, taking a shot against open foes. That horse ran fantastic, and as you mentioned, was able to settle and didn't have to get involved in the speed trap there with Big Vince on the front end.
Well, good game effort by the runner-up, but no doubt about the winner, Zero Sugar. He gets it done with another big effort sprinting. We'll be back with more racing on America's Day at the Races.
Back with you on America's Day of the Races here on Fox Sports 2. We go to Turf Paradise, mile on the grass, $30,000 maiden optional claiming race, 2-5 on the one Interplay.
Well, he is much the worst to beat, even though, she's had a lot of chances, a 6-year-old maiden. I think the 2 and 7, both trying the turf for the first time, do have a little bit of pedigree, and particularly Rafina, who should be forwardly placed. With the scratch of the number 5, it takes a lot of speed out. And this is a Temple City from a more than ready dam, and as a 0.5-to-1 turf winner, while being a cheap horse, lower level horse, that horse ran a 67 buyer on turf, and that would certainly be tough enough to win this race. So I bet a little one in the 2 and bet a 1-2 exacta.
Vic Stauffer with the call. Here's race 3, Turf Paradise.
They're at the post. They're off. Slow start for They See Me Do It. Fast start for Kelbella and Clark's Bomber. These two, Kelbella to the front. Rafina now is in second with Clark's Bomber. She's made her way to the rail in third. Then Silver Flirt and Interplay. And the slow start has They See Me Do It at the back of the pack. Kelbella has the lead, and it's an uncontested one. Running well off the rail. She's in about the 2.5 path, but she dictates terms to Rafina in second. Silver Flirt is third, and she's about 2.5 from the front and a length in front of Clark's Bomber. Here's the big favorite, Interplay. She is second to last and about 6 from the front, and she's a length and a half in front of They See Me Do It. We have a new leader up the backstretch. Nope, Kelbella is still in charge, and Kelbella now once again leads by 2. Rafina took a run at her through from the inside because Kelbella's still, and she's going to do it again now. Kelbella's way in the middle of the track, and it's wide open for Rafina, and this time she means business and goes all the way up and puts half a head in front. Kelbella is second. Silver Flirt is third. Now Interplay begins to unwind. She's fourth, could get into third soon. Interplay looms large, 4 from the front. They See Me Do It joins Clark's Bomber, and Rafina is the leader. She's put away Kelbella. Interplay is about to move into second. Rafina leads, but Interplay is coming on in the red cap, and here she comes. Orlando Mojica and Interplay, and she runs right by and slingshots to the lead, and she's gone. Interplay suddenly 3 in front. Rafina, They See Me Do It, might get third, but Interplay is going to coast to an easy victory. Interplay in front. Interplay won by 2 3/4. Rafina second. They See Me Do It third. Kelbella fourth.
Interplay, 6-year-old mare, breaks her maiden for Neil Drysdale, odds-on favorite.
I told Greg about now, just hold room for the 2 to hold on for second. Greg said, you didn't really bet this race, did you? Check my Naira Bets account. I said
Good
before,
I
was betting the 8-year-old first time on the turf, the 2. But it was the 6-year-old maiden, Interplay.
Man, I don't follow this circuit a lot. This could be the first ever 6-year-old, 8-year-old maiden finish.
I think it's the first 6-year-old, 8-year-old maiden finish I've ever had. 14 years of maidens.
Zero Sugar, impressive at Oaklawn. Winner Circle lead-in brought to you by Fasig-Tipton Digital, North America's #1 digital platform for thoroughbreds. Learn more about our auction schedule, digital.fasig-tipton.com. Let's get digital. Turning this horse back in distance, that has been the right move. Let's go to Megan.
Here with the winning jockey at Minneaskaval, who just gets off of Zero Sugar, and this horse is just really taken to this sprint game, Minnie.
Yeah, he likes it, We always like him to go long. He always gallops out strong and everything, and, he won going long, too, and everything, But, we're going back to 3/4. The owner's idea, he's showing up good, He's running good, fast times, and doing them easy, too,
What have you learned about him after riding him long and now being able to kind of get that closing kick shorter?
He got that natural speed to himself, but it's a horse that, you got to get after him, because if you let him, he'll fall back, he thinks that he don't need to do it, But once you get him going and put him on the race, he shows up for you.
Congratulations. You've got a really nice horse on your hands, Manny.
Thank you.
Greg?
It was fun to watch. Zero Sugar, impressive again. 3-5 in the end. $3.40 for the victory. Back-to-back wins since cutting back to sprinting.
No, I obviously worked a little harder, I think, than we all expected to get to the #1, but did manage to get there, get at the end. And the baddest good boy did win that photo for third, Matt, with a flying finish. And as he said, not surprisingly, a big gallop out.
Nightcap still to come. It'll be Arkansas Bred Runners 40 Maiden Claiming Group coming up to close things out, where we're going to have a huge favorite, I believe. Yeah, even money. Whispering Charm for Peter Miller is going to take a ton of attention.
Yeah, I thought he looked like the logical horse to beat in this race. The 11 has a little bit of. I was wondering if the 11, the first, would take a little
the
money.
The 8, a little interesting too. We'll get to. Back at Turf Paradise, race 4, 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, and 8-5, right and tight. Who's had 3 runner-ups in 4 career starts.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna sort of shut it down at Turf Paradise after that big score I made with that $4 4-to-1 exacta, the 1-2. So I may, I think I'm going to take my profit at Turf Paradise and move on.
At least we want to hear what you would have done, though, when we come back from a break. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back this race for you when we return. Nightcap from Oaklawn as well. When America's Day of the Races continues. And look who's back in action. Skippy in the Essex, trying to keep things going after back-to-back wins.
Prince of Monaco's Too Good for Moose, an impressive winner of the Best Pal. Miramondi's all hot, but Prince of Monaco too good.
Prince of Monaco, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Some horses are remembered, other horses are passed down like an heirloom. He's the kind of horse that lives in stories, each better than the one before, hardened like a diamond, and equally brilliant. He ran 3 straight years at the highest level, and he himself was elite.
Putting on a show in the Preakness. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be National Treasure. National Treasure would not be denied. National Treasure wins the Pegasus World Cup. In the blink of an eye has opened up a 5-length advantage. So 1-horse race. National Treasure.
There's a brilliance in the way he moved and a tenacity in how he finished. By quality road with a wealth of family, and he raced like he knew it. National Treasure, the key to quality.
They're in the stretch drive, and White Abarrio has the lead with 1/8 of a mile to get. Skippy's coming now! Here comes Skippy Longstocking running at his stablemate. Skippy Longstocking rolling down the center, and Skippy's got it won! It's an upset in Pegasus 10. It's Skippy Longstocking.
21-1 in the Pegasus. Skippy Longstocking getting by White Abarrio and Full Serrano. Now back-to-back graded stakes wins, and that's the way he kicks off his 7-year-old campaign for Saffie Joseph Jr.
Yeah, he's had two wins in his last 2 starts down at Gulfstream. Now, he's won at Oaklawn. In fact, I think he won this race going back quite a ways. Won the Charlestown Classic a couple times. He's a little bit unreliable. He's sort of a remarkable horse with 13 wins, 36 starts, and a lot of money in earnings. That was his first Grade 1 win, beating White Abarrio. I mean, it may not have been the overall strongest field, but when White Abarrio runs a good race, which is not always the case, he's pretty good. He's going to be the favorite. If he runs his good race, he's going to win, but he's a little tough horse to totally. I'm not trying to knock him. When he runs well, he's very good. And I think they were going to ship him out to the Santa Anita Handicap. I think he had some issues shipping out there. They decided to scratch, so he's coming here instead. And he's okay, but we'll see if some of the more up-and-coming horses like Accelerise can take a step forward and be competitive. As he's one of 2 Todds entered the New Orleans Handicap, I imagine he'll scratch there to run at Oaklawn.
He's Skippy, the 4-5 morning line favorite in the Grade 3 Essex Handicap. This weekend at a mile and an eighth. Of course, this on the road to that Oaklawn Handicap where reigning Horse of the Year Sovereignty will make his 2026 return. Let's take a look at the morning line. We'll break from post 5 for Saffie.
I'm rooting for the New York Red Doc Sullivan. I don't think he's good enough to win, and I'm not sure you really want him at a mile and an eighth against his quality of horse, but he's kind of a neat horse.
Accelerise, sure of course, going to try and use that speed as we send it out to our crew in Hot Springs.
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous edition of this race. And Skippy Longstocking, earner of $5.4 million, Megan. And he did have a little trouble shipping last time.
He did. He did not want to get on the plane. He was just refusing to, I guess, load and have them take off. And they just did not want to take the risk. And I wouldn't want to take the risk either, considering the horse coming off of the win he did. He's always been that Grade 2, Grade 3 type of dweller, and he has been perfectly managed by a trainer in Saffie Joseph Jr., who has put him in the position to win and to accumulate that massive bankroll. And to me, he is just better than this group on paper, and that's a very easy sentiment to say, but you've got a horse, as we've kind of alluded to with Accelerise, that certainly has some upside in this group.
I agree. I still think the path to the winner's circle is through Skippy Longstocking, but Accelerise coming off of a very good effort in the Mine Shaft at Fairground when he was narrowly defeated.
Yeah, as we take a look at the last bit of this Harlan's Holiday, Skippy Longstocking just getting the best of Poster, who again, I find Poster again isn't the Grade 1 caliber that he came back and was able to beat in the Pegasus World Cup. But Accelerise here in his last effort, he has just been on the front end battling, and he either gets the better of it, and then last time he was second to a horse and hit show who's looking to go back to, not back to back, but for a additional Dubai World Cup on March the 28th.
Well, and he's a horse with speed. He creates his own trip. He's shown that he'll fight for it, in the Louisiana Handicap, or Louisiana Stakes, I should say, fighting back to win. I'm just not able to see it through with Hit Show, but certainly a major player. I'm with you guys. I'm rooting for Doc Sullivan. TriStar Farm, the Lestrito family, we've known them in New York forever. He's a New York bred, obviously. And Chance Moquette manages TriStar Farm, Ron Moquette's son. It's all about Skippy Longstocking, guys, who I actually did watch gallop this morning and galloped very aggressively. He looked no worse for the wear. I think he just heard about my last trip home and getting back to Arkansas on Delta, and he says, nah, I'm not getting on this plane. It's kind of how I felt, too.
Still feel for Richie with what he went through on that flight. This horse already has had success in Oaklawn. He's going to be a big favorite.
Oh, yeah, and he's the horse to beat. I mean, it's not a particularly strong run. It's not a deep, strong running the race. It's a lot of – you're sort of hoping that Skippy doesn't run his best race. If he doesn't, it'll open up to a couple of the others in this race. But if he does, he's just too good for these horses. I mean, I understand Chance's involved with the TriStar people. John Ortiz has a barn down there. It is a big purse. I get it. He's taking a shot. He's only 8-1 on the line, so it makes some sense being in there. But he's probably a little bit better around 7 furlongs to a mile in those races. So we'll see. I'll root for him too, but I don't think it's a bit of an ask at that distance for him. But listen, if Skippy doesn't show up with his A race, which happens frequently, then I do think it opens him up. But Accelerise was probably the other major contender. He's improving for Tom.
Yeah. That is coming up on our Saturday coverage. Grade 3 Essex Handicap at a mile and an eighth. We hope you tune in over the weekend to catch it. Still have to bring you race 4 at a Turf Paradise. That is coming up. We're 11 minutes away from closing things out as well out at Oaklawn. But here's our field of Turf Paradise in this maiden special weight.
I'm the king of Turf Paradise, and you're just jealous, Greg. Admit it. Just admit it.
Interplay winning. How about this exacta?
I crushed the $4.50 for $1. I mean, you're very jealous of my big win there. It's okay.
A good hit.
I really wish we had video of Greg turning to me at the 8th hole and saying, you didn't really bet this race.
Rafina, 8-year-old mare getting on turf for the first time.
I don't care how old they are. Turf pedigree is turf pedigree.
Yeah,
I mean, did you really expect to see a Temple City more than ready broodmare in the? I mean, it's sort of an amazing amount of pedigree for a race, seeing there. So I couldn't resist.
Good call.
Not that great a call.
5 minutes away, 4th at Turf Paradise. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. Want to talk about that Empire Trillium Series, newly announced just a short while ago between NYRA and Woodbine. Mark Casse will talk about it when we come back. The reimagined Belmont Park, yes, coming end of September. And, of course, this new series with Woodbine, Empire Trillium Series, is on the way as well. $3.2 million total purses, Tapeta Surface at Belmont, and, of course, Tapeta and Turf at Woodbine.
I love the idea. First of all, I really, it's an industry that doesn't cooperate enough. And I think anytime you're working with your partners in racing, and Woodbine's a great partner, especially with us putting the Tapeta Surface in, and them being, off during the winter, they're just like a natural partner for this. And I applaud both our racing office as well as the racing office in Woodbine for putting this together. It's going to be mostly synthetic races, 2 in the spring on the turf at Woodbine, but all synthetic here. And I think it's a great way to start things. And obviously, people talk about the purse in Kentucky, and I understand that. But they're really good for Kentucky breds. They're not great for non-Kentucky breds. And I think with synthetic being here in the winter, I think it'll be an opportunity for people that aren't running Kentucky breds, that are going down there to run synthetic during the winter, to come to New York instead, where they'll be running for better purses if you're not a Kentucky bred.
And if you have a horse foaled in New York or Canada, that is a series you have to pay close attention to. We know someone who has a lot of horses that would be eligible for that. That, of course, Mark Casse. Keisha Clement had a chance to catch up with him.
I'm excited about the Empire Trillium Series. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great for owners, trainers. We're going to have a little bit of a Canadian-American contest probably. I'm sure there'll be a tally. It may not be quite as popular as the U.S.-Canadian hockey match, but it'll be fun. I already know through my owners that it's got them paying more attention, and we're going to do a lot more in New York. I'm, on a personal note, very excited about Belmont starting. We haven't, in the last 20 years, kept horses there year-round, and we're going to start doing it. And you'll see a lot of horses going back and forth from Woodbine and Belmont. And I believe you're going to see a lot of Canadian horses coming to Belmont for this series and for racing altogether. Probably 80% of your turf horses will run over synthetic. So that's going to help a lot. I also think it's going to help New York, because if you really look at the New York Breeders' Program, it's made up of a lot of turf horses. And I've found in the past that those horses are only able to compete about 6 months of the year, and now they'll be able to compete year-round.
14-race series, $3.2 million in purses. 8 stakes at Belmont, December 26th through February 27th, and then April 24th through July 21st, it heads to Woodbine.
Yeah, no, I think it opens up a lot of possibilities. And listen, I am not going to pretend that I have been a great proponent of synthetic racing, but I think if you look at what the quality of racing has been like in the winter, both this year and even in the last couple of years, we can't sustain as much racing as we're having. We don't have the horse population, and synthetic offers the possibility of getting a lot more horses to come from places like Presque Isle, as well as Woodbine, to come down, increase our field size. And I think a lot of trainers that are a little bit skeptical about synthetic, they're going to like it a lot more, especially because it's going to make things more competitive and bring the fields together. And I think, like you, and you have more experience with synthetic than I do, I think it's a new challenge, and I'm up for at least giving it a try, giving it a fair chance.
No, looking forward to it. It's going to be, something brand new here on this circuit, and we welcome it. If it means bigger fields and more competitive races as bettors, that's what you love.
Right. If somebody's complaining, saying, oh, it's synthetic, it's like, okay, so you love the product we put out this winter? I mean, you've got to be honest about things. We need to do something to improve things, and I think synthetic has the opportunity to do just that.
Finale at Oaklawn, Whispering Charm. Is this one beatable?
I think so, but just to tag along a little bit, guys, with your conversation, I agree with you. And you walk around the backstretch of Belmont, I want to see every barn full. I don't want to walk and see so many empty stalls, and therefore we have light entries. I think it's going to help bolster the entries, and that's always a good thing. The 3-horse Whispering Charm, taking all the money, dropping in for a maiden tag the first time, and these are 3-year-old fillies, Arkansas breds.
A gaudy number for Peter Miller on the class drop, and this is the only, I believe only, Arkansas bred in the Peter Miller barn, as he had mentioned to me earlier on in the meet. This horse, if she runs back to even her last or two back races, I think is going to be pretty tough in this spot. But at the same time, we have to take into consideration that there are a lot of unknown variables with some first-time starters, many of which, to me, in these Arkansas bred affairs, Mig, are up against the experience that they give up to oftentimes their rivals, especially in this kind of field.
Well, I agree with that. And that being said, I'm going to go with a first-time starter in the 6, Roseanne. Not taking any money. I'm not crazy about that. I was hoping to be some action on the board. She's 18-1. But the mare has produced 2 first-out winners, another that was defeated ahead on debut. She's a half to a stakes winner, albeit a Louisiana stakes winner, and he's just lucky. I just saw precocity in the pedigree. She looks quick. She's got a steady work tab. I'm willing to take a little stab just because I'm not enamored with anybody that has run. A horse that has run that took money on debut, dropping slightly in cast, is the 8, Cute and Classy, who made a very nice physical impression.
She did. She looks fantastic. I think she even looks better than her last, where she was putting in some pretty solid breezes considering just the level they were running her at. Now, 47 and change. Then she came back and just needed the race. First time out, she just did not really show any speed and didn't do much running that day. But I think she's going to be better for it second time out, as Randy Morris has them usually ready to go. I also thought the 9, obviously interesting with that 2-back race at Remington for Ron Moquett.
Yeah, and Ron Moquett's barn's really come to life, as has Keith Asmussen, coming off an injury. Seems like he's really found his form as well. Ron with a lot of seconds and thirds. Well, those are starting to turn into winners. And I thought Paroli was interesting. Earlier in the day, we saw Hoodlum run. We're going to end the day with a Paroli. I don't know, seems kind of right. I'm on the 6 at a big price. Let's see how it shakes out. Matt Dinnerman with the call of the finale.
Roseanne coming up. Max Kraken, and then Lady Strategy to round out the field. Live racing resumes tomorrow. First post 12:30 on a 10-race program. We'll see you then. But for now, enjoy this nightcap. We're ready to go. And Laroff. An awkward move at the start for Tizza Rider. Might have clipped heels there. At the very least, stumbled very badly. Tizza Rider now second to last in the early stages. Whispering Charm, offensive-minded as a share of the lead. Pardon Me, Z's alongside. Roseanne in the 3rd position and step that way right behind. Cute and Classy, 6 lengths off the pace, shoved upon with Lady Strategy to the outside. Then Valeska's Promise, Paroli and Tizza Rider, they're side by side. And Max Kraken is at the back of the pack, and there's actually one really far behind. Bees Luck not being persevered with, eased at the 3-ace pole. Around the far turn they go. Whispering Charm goes off as the 1-2 favorite. Leads by 2 now, is opened up. Pardon Me, Z second. Roseanne gets a tap on the shoulder to get into it. About to claim second with the aforementioned rival. Pardon Me, Z approaching the top of the lane. Whispering Charm off the turn here. Roseanne making a dash to challenge with Pardon Me, Z in the middle. Whispering Charm needs to find more here. She is. Whispering Charm, and also on the outside, Pardon Me, Z. Pardon Me, Z runs by with a furlong to go. Her only threat is Roseanne. Whispering Charm's beaten. 16th to go. Roseanne, Pardon Me, Z side by side. Roseanne on the outside gaining ground, grabs the lead and wins. Roseanne has won it over Pardon Me, Z, then Whispering Charm and Paroli.
Well, it was the first-time starter, Roseanne, who gets it done at 16-1. A lot of precocity in the pedigree. And we could tell pretty early on, Megan, this filly was going to run.
She was traveling really well. She showed speed, settling tactically met. Richard Migliori, the handicapper that you are. That was a heck of a call.
Well, it was 2 first-time starters coming on. Well, thank you. But it was 2 first-time starters who came down there. Jinx Fire with the 4, Pardon Me, Z. A very nice effort there by both first-time starters. And Roseanne gets it done. The mare continuing with that tradition of throwing out horses that win early.
And honestly, in these kinds of races where they're first-time starters, we'll see if this horse gets claimed. I doubt it. Usually horses, usually that happens after a start or so. So I'm anticipating this horse probably stays in the same barn, and that was a very strong effort on debut. Again, that was a monster hit. Good job, Meg.
Well, nice way to end the day here at Oaklawn Park, 16-1. Can I just drop the mic and walk off now?
Just drop it. That was awesome. That made me so happy to see her run well. And first-time starters make the world go round, especially when they're at, I believe, 16-1 on top of 12-1. That's what happens here at Oaklawn, particularly in these claiming races and at the end of the day where we've seen a lot of chalk.
Well, 16-1 shot helps make up, guys, for the plethora of losers I picked here at Oaklawn Park. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Well done. Nice call there. 16-1. Not bad at all on a first-time starter, Joe McKellar-Barn.
You just can't leave those Joe McKellar firsters out. I've been telling you that for years, and now you're listening.
Turf Paradise can be our last live race of the program. We have a horse who should be a massive favorite. Cannot seem to last at 5.5 furlongs. Not going to try and last at 6 furlongs. We'll be back.
Spine-tingling, jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, Secretariat-like.
RaceLens is the most in-depth product in horse racing, with unique features found nowhere else. True odds, predictive analysis, and pace projection. RaceLens. It will change the way you follow horse racing and take your game to the next level.
Enhance your handicapping with AI Fast Facts, exclusively on NYRA-Bets. Open your NYRA-Bets app, click View Runner Details, and a stat-driven fact will appear for all U.S. thoroughbred racehorses. Download the NYRA-Bets app to start using Fast Facts today.
New York breds. Race them.
Respect them.
Bet them.
Respect them.
Breed them.
Respect them.
Buy them.
Respect them.
Train them for a second career.
Respect them.
Join us in respecting thoroughbreds at every stage of life. Learn more at nybreds.com.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Back with you for our final segment of the program. Race 4, Turf Paradise. Maiden special weight, 6 furlong sprint, the favorite. Not on our screen. It's right and tight to 2. Who has had 4 opportunities, 3 runner-ups so far.
But in this field, has to be considered the horse to beat. As you pointed out, though, not finishing it off at 5.5, gets an extra half furlong today, whether or not that helps. But I don't know why this horse is that much more likely to win than Salty Sis, who only has the 1 dirt race. But in that race, to be fair, did finish almost 4 lengths behind the favorite. But I think that's the other horse, unless, you know,
It's a 5.5-month layoff, though.
Yeah. No, I think that horse is a little bit dangerous, cutting back. And, I mean, you're seeing a smidgen of money for the 1, a smidgen for the 6, both first-time starters. A little more turf pedigree to speak of on those 2 horses, so we'll see what happens. You excited,
For you,
Greg?
Bud, first-time starter, the 6, taking a little bit of money.
I would bet the 7 if you put a gun to my head, but I don't disagree with you. The 2 is way the horse to beat.
Vic Stauffer with the call, race 4, Turf Paradise.
Okay. And Salty Sis. They're at the post. They're off. Right and tight. Train Station and Salty Sis. These 3 go out and they're quickest. Con Leche away in 4th. Then For You, Bud, and the trailer is Bold and Ambitious. It's Train Station and Right and Tight 1-2. Train Station's ahead in front. Right and Tight is second now by a length and a quarter to Salty Sis, who tracks from third. Con Leche is fourth, and she's about 3.5 off the lead with 4U Bud just outside of her. Bold and Ambitious is sixth and last, 6 lengths from dueling front runners Train Station and Right and Tight. Here's Salty Sis to run up 3 deep, and Salty Sis is on the move. Meanwhile, Train Station now leads 3/4 of a length. Right and Tight is still there at the rail, and Salty Sis 3 wide. Then it's 3 back to 4U Bud. That's all for Con Leche, joined and passed by Bold and Ambitious, and it's Train Station in front, Salty Sis. Every chance to outrun her in the final 1/8 of a mile. Train Station leads, Salty Sis attacks. Bold and Ambitious is coming on. Fourth now and moving up a bit. Train Station and Salty Sis. Train Station has turned away Salty Sis, and Train Station wins. Good looking win too, 4 lengths. Right and Tight came back and beat Salty Sis for second. 4U Bud might have been fourth.
Train Station, career start, number 9, the win. As we get you back to Oaklawn Winter Circle, Roseanne, first time out, 16-1, and is given to you by Mig.
Well, I hope Mig got all the money there as this firster looked poised top of the stretch, and in a severe stretch roll, the 2 firsters, both at prices, were able to run by the heavy favorite Whispering Charm. Nobody else did much running to speak of.
Named after a famous comedian.
Hang on.
Sire's cutting humor.
Oh, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
I saw her. You must have seen her. She got famous doing comedy clubs in L.A., right? Because I actually saw her in a comedy club in L.A. a bunch, like 1990-ish, if that makes sense. But her husband, Tom Arnold, was also there. He was really funny. I thought he was the funny. Yeah, he was extremely funny.
$34 ending to things on this Thursday at Oaklawn. Pick 4, $452. Pick 5, over $1,487. And no one hits the pick 6.
Mig should add that pick 5. If he didn't, I'm not speaking to him anymore.
I'm sure he did.
He better.
We are back tomorrow. We got a double dose of action, 1:30 Eastern start time on FS2 till 3:30, and then back 5:30 to 6:30. We talked about the Essex we have coming up. Looks a little top heavy, but sir, I think Accelerise is interesting for Pletcher.
Yeah, and I mean, Skippy Longstocking is a really cool horse, and if he runs the race, he's going to win. But he's not that reliable, so I have no issue with somebody who wants to take a shot against him in that race. See.
Big performance today in the feature from Oaklawn. Zero Sugar sprinting. Certainly looks like that's what he wants to do. There was Fort Nelson, race 6 at Aqueduct for Linda Rice with the victory. Backing up that last out effort. And Zero Sugar, boy, did they make the right move going shorter distances with this horse, too. Really good efforts. And now maybe much tougher company to come next. We'll see you tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern start time on FS2.